finish chatting.
Style. I get a brand new bitch and get a brand new bag. Can't go out too fast. Work too hard just to get like this. Why would a nigga gon' act like that? Man, the shit too sad. Had to go and get the heart away. Man, I almost get my heart away. Gotta eat, won't start today. Cause a nigga ain't got time to waste. Gotta make another bad today. I could really let a tear fall. Still believing that my time is coming. On my knees and then I prayed for it. The sun gon' shine after the rainstorm. I've hidden all my pain and never showed as my trials and tribulations get recorded. When I've hidden all my pain up in these verses, I catch a vibe and turn into a poet. I've been traumatized from this paranoia. I got PTSD from this life I've been living. And I ain't crying by the hand life dealt me. I understood I can only play what I'm given. I killed Tato by a headshot. Got nightmares of his blood on. Got a shower and gone, I saw my dog get dropped. Fuck I said to his mom's now. He was cooking dope, got a trap and serve. He was booming them bricks right up out of the kitchen. Was flipping birds and chopping heads off. Won't stop chasing, gotta feather this chicken. You sat us down and touched our heads off. He was hard-headed, no, we didn't wanna listen. I didn't think it all go down bad. Last drop, gotta do one more mission. I couldn't imagine living like how I live. My apartment leased out and still paying rent. So I'm on a mission just to run up a check. Cause I'm having dreams of a white picket fence. I didn't buy a single thing that they sold me. They tried to sell it cause they knew I was broken. They're celebrating, popping bottles of Moe. And now my heart is drifting out to get a brand new bitch and get a brand new bag. I can't go out like that. I'm staying in my lane, but I need to slow down cause life moving too fast. I hope I just don't crash. Don't crack cause it's on my ass. If I pop another Addy and I pull another fold, then a nigga might just not last. That's a whole nother part of me. Look at how you done ended things. Yeah, don't know what your intentions. Don't know what you even saw in me. Yeah, I'm chasing the bag and I'm still chasing more. Running the racks and I'm selling up dope. Spend time with you, I ain't spending no more. Cause as soon as I wake up, then I gotta go. But I gotta go harder, do it for all the things that I never can have. Fuck the old bitch I was fucking who got in the way and almost made me fumble the past. This new chick I got, she don't get in the way. Our connection like Wi-Fi with no strings attached. And I can't wait to get her home out of them clothes cause little shawty too fine to fuck. If you keep it 100, I got you, baby. Is this gonna be forever or temporary? All this shit going on got you going crazy. Promise to be the rock of your foundation. But I need you right now and I can't wait. I just need me some head, had a long day. But to me, baby, that's just some foreplay. Cause right after you know that I'm going crazy. If you keep it 100, I got you, baby. Is this gonna be forever or temporary? All this shit going on got you going crazy. Promise to be the rock of your foundation. But I need you right now and I can't wait. I just need me some head, had a long day. But to me, baby, that's just some foreplay. Cause right after you know that I'm going crazy. That's a whole nother part of me. Look at how you done ended things. Yeah, don't know what your intentions. Don't know what you even saw in me. Yeah, I'm chasing the bag and I'm still chasing more. Running the racks, I'm selling up dope. Spend time with you, I ain't spending no more. Cause as soon as I wake up, then I gotta get a brand new bitch and get a brand new bag. Can't go out too fast. Work too hard just to get like this. Why would a nigga gon' act like that? Man, the shit too sad. Had to go and get the heart away. Man, I almost get my heart away. Gotta eat, won't start today.
We ain't finished yet.
Style. I get a brand new bitch and get a brand new bag. Can't go out too fast. Work too hard just to get like this. Why would a nigga gon' act like that? Man, the shit too sad. Had to go and get the heart away. Man, I almost get my heart away. Gotta eat, won't start today. Cause a nigga ain't got time to waste. Gotta make another bad today. I could really let a tear fall. Still believing that my time is coming. On my knees and then I prayed for it. The sun gon' shine after the rainstorm. I've hidden all my pain and never showed as my trials and tribulations get recorded. When I've hidden all my pain up in these verses, I catch a vibe and turn into a poet. I've been traumatized from this paranoia. I got PTSD from this life I've been living. And I ain't crying by the hand life dealt me. I understood I can only play what I'm given. Cause I killed Tato by a headshot. Got nightmares of his blood on. Got a shower and gone, I saw my dog get dropped. Fuck I said to his mom's now. He was cooking dope, got a trap and serve. He was booming them bricks right up out of the kitchen. Was flipping birds and chopping heads off. Won't stop chasing, gotta feather this chicken. You sat us down and touched our heads off. He was hard-headed, no, we didn't wanna listen. I didn't think it all go down bad. Last Last drop, gotta do one more mission. I couldn't imagine living like how I live. My apartment leased out and still paying rent. So I'm on a mission just to run up a check, cause I'm having dreams of a white picket fence. I didn't buy a single thing that they sold me. They tried to sell it cause they knew I was broken. They're celebrating, popping bottles of Moe, and now my heart is drifting out to get a brand new bitch and get a brand new bag. I can't go out like that. I'm staying in my lane, but I need to slow down cause life moving too fast. I hope I just don't crash. Them crackers on my ass. If I pop another Addy and I pull another fold, then a nigga might just not last. That's a whole nother part of me. Look at how you done ended things. Yeah, don't know what your intentions, don't know what you even saw in me. Yeah, I'm chasing the bag and I'm still chasing more. Running the rocks, I was selling up dope. Spend time with you, I ain't spending no more. Cause as soon as I wake up, then I gotta go. But I gotta go harder, do it for all the things that I never can have. Fuck the old bitch I was fucking who got in the way and almost made me fumble the past. This new chick I got, she don't get in the way. Our connection like Wi-Fi with no strings attached. And I can't wait to get her home out of them clothes, cause little shawty too fine to fuck. If you keep it 100, I got you, baby. Is this gonna be forever or temporary? All this shit going on got you going crazy. Promise to be the rock of your foundation, but I need you right now and I can't wait. I just need me some head, had a long day. But to me, baby, that's just some foreplay. Cause right after you know that I'm going crazy. If you keep it 100, I got you, baby. Is this gonna be forever or temporary? All this shit going on got you going crazy. Promise to be the rock of your foundation, but I need you right now and I can't wait. I just need me some head, had a long day. But to me, baby, that's just some foreplay. Cause right after you know that I'm going crazy. That's a whole nother part of me. Look at how you done ended things. Yeah, don't know what your intentions, don't know what you even saw in me. Yeah, I'm chasing the bag and I'm still chasing more. Running the rocks, I was selling up dope. Spend time with you, I ain't spending no more. Cause as soon as I wake up, then I gotta get a brand new bitch and get a brand new bag. Can't go out too bad, work too hard just to get like this. Why would a nigga gon' act like that? Man, the shit too sad. Had to go and get the heart away. Man, I almost get my heart away. Gotta eat, won't start today.
We ain't finished yet.
Style. I get a brand new bitch and get a brand new bag. Can't go out too bad, work too hard just to get like this. Why would a nigga gon' act like that? Man, the shit too sad. Had to go and get the heart away. Man, I almost get my heart away. Gotta eat, won't start today. Cause the nigga ain't got time to waste. Gotta make another bad today. I could really let a tear fall, still believing that my time is coming. On my knees and then I prayed for it. The sun gon' shine after the rainstorm. I've hidden all my pain and never showed as my trials and tribulations get recorded. When I've hidden all my pain up in these verses, I catch a vibe and turn into a poet. I've been traumatized from this paranoia. I got PTSD from this life I've been living, and I ain't crying by the hand life dealt me. I understood I can only play what I'm given. Cause I killed Tato by a headshot. Got nightmares of his blood on me. Got a shower and gone, I saw my dog get dropped. Fuck, I said it was mom's now. He was cooking dope, got a trap and serve. We was booming them bricks right up out of the kitchen. Was flipping birds and chopping heads off. Won't stop chasing, gotta feather this chicken. You sat us down and talked our heads off. We was hard-headed, no we didn't wanna listen. I didn't think it all go down bad. Last drop, we gotta do one more mission. I couldn't imagine living like how I live. My apartment leased out and still paying rent. So I'm on a mission just to run up a check. Cause I'm having dreams of a white picket fence. I didn't buy a single thing that they sold me. They tried to sell it cause they knew I was broken. They're celebrating, popping bottles of Moe, and now my heart is drifting out to get a brand new bitch and get a brand new bag. I can't go out like that. I'm staying in my lane, but I need to slow down cause life moving too fast. I hope I just don't crash. Them crackers on my ass. If I pop another Addy and I pull another fold, then a nigga might just not last. That's a whole nother part of me. Look at how you done ended things. Yeah, don't know what your intentions, don't know what you even saw in me. Yeah, I'm chasing the bag and I'm still chasing more. Running the rocks, I was selling up dope. Spend time with you, I ain't spending no more. Cause as soon as I wake up, then I gotta go. But I gotta gotta go harder, do it for all the things that I never can have. Fuck the old bitch I was fucking who got in the way and almost let me fumble the past. This new chick I got, she don't get in the way. Our connection like Wi-Fi with no strings attached. And I can't wait to get her home out of them clothes, cause little shorty too fine to fuck. If you keep it 100, I got you, baby. Is this gonna be forever or temporary? All this shit going on got you going crazy. Promise to be the rock of your foundation, but I need you right now and I can't wait. I just need me some hair, had a long day. But to me, baby, that's just some foreplay, cause right after you know that I'm going crazy. If you keep it 100, I got you, baby. Is this gonna be forever or temporary? All this shit going on got you going crazy. Promise to be the rock of your foundation, but I need you right now and I can't wait. I just need me some hair, had a long day. But to me, baby, that's just some foreplay, cause right after you know that I'm going crazy. That's a whole nother part of me. Look at how you done ended things. Yeah, don't know what your intentions, don't know what you even saw in me. Yeah, I'm chasing the bag and I'm still chasing more. Running the racks up and selling up dope. Spend time with you, I ain't spending no more. Cause as soon as I wake up, then I gotta get a brand new bitch and get a brand new bag. Can't go out too bad, work too hard just to get like this. Why would a nigga gon' act like that? Man, the shit too sad. Had to go and get the heart away. Man, I almost get my heart away. Gotta eat, won't start today.
We ain't finished yet.
Style. I get a brand new bitch and get a brand new bag. Can't go out too bad, work too hard just to get like this. Why would a nigga gon' act like that? Man, the shit too sad. Had to go and get the heart away. Man, I almost get my heart away. Gotta eat, won't start today, cause the nigga ain't got time to waste. Gotta make another bad today. I could really let a tear fall, still believing that my time is coming. On my knees and then I prayed for it. The sun gon' shine after the rainstorm. I've hidden all my pain and never showed as my trials and tribulations get recorded. When I've hidden all my pain up in these verses, I catch a vibe and turn into a poet. I've been traumatized from this paranoia. I got PTSD from this life I've been living, and I ain't crying by the hand life dealt me. I understood I can only play what I'm given. I killed Tato by a headshot. Got nightmares of his blood on me. Got a shower and gone, I saw my dog get dropped. Fuck I said to his mom's now. He was cooking dope, got a trap and serve. He was booming them bricks right up out of the kitchen. Was flipping birds and chopping heads off. Won't stop chasing, got a feather this chicken. You sat us down and talked our heads off. He was hard-headed, no we didn't wanna listen. I didn't think it all go down bad. Last drop, we gotta do one more mission. I couldn't imagine living like how I live. My apartment leased out and still paying rent. So I'm on a mission just to run up a check, cause I'm having dreams of a white picket fence. I didn't buy a single thing that they sold me. They tried to sell it cause they knew I was broken. To celebrating, popping bottles of Moe, and now my heart is drifting out to get a brand new bitch and get a brand new bag. I can't go out like that. I'm staying in my lane, but I need to slow down cause life moving too fast. I hope I just don't crash. The crackers on my ass. If I pop another Addy and I pull another fold, then a nigga might just not last. That's a whole nother part of me. Look at how you done ended things. Yeah, don't know what your intentions, don't know what you even saw in me. Yeah, I'm chasing the bag and I'm still chasing more. Running the racks up and selling up dope. Spend time with you, I ain't spending no more. Cause as soon as I wake up, then I gotta go. But I gotta go harder, do it for all the things that I never can have. Fuck the old bitch I was fucking who got in the way and almost let me fumble the past. This new chick I got, she don't get in the way. Our connection like Wi-Fi with no strings attached. And I can't wait to get her home out of them clothes, cause little shorty too fine to fuck. If you keep it 100, I got you, baby. Is this gonna be forever or temporary? All this shit going on got you going crazy. Promise to be the rock of your foundation, but I need you right now and I can't wait. I just need me some hair, had a long day. But to me, baby, that's just some foreplay, cause right after you know that I'm going crazy. If you keep it 100, I got you, baby. Is this gonna be forever or temporary? All this shit going on got you going crazy. Promise to be the rock of your foundation, but I need you right now and I can't wait. I just need me some hair, had a long day. But to me, baby, that's just some foreplay, cause right after you know that I'm going crazy. That's a whole nother part of me. Look at how you done ended things. Yeah, don't know what your intentions, don't know what you even saw in me. Yeah, I'm chasing the bag and I'm still chasing more. Running the rocks over selling up dope. Spend time with you, I ain't spending no more. Cause as soon as I wake up, then I gotta get a brand new bitch and get a brand new bag. Can't go out too fast, work too hard just to get like this. Why would a nigga gon' act like that? Man, the shit too sad. Had to go and get the heart away. Man, I almost get my heart away. Gotta eat, won't start today.
T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Yo, hey girl, it's LadyChann, and welcome to It's the Weekly Wrap-Up Shiggity Show in the Booties. We're in the Blood Clot building. That's where we at, Jack. Yeah, we are in the building. I hope you guys have had an amazing day today. Does my mic sound nice? Chickadee check 1, check 2. Does my mic sound nice? We can call in US callers 917-410-8091. UK callers 07939530676. The reason why I say we're in the Blood Clot building, I found someone else that seems to be in the Blood Clot building, and I'm with it. Let's go. Come on.
Wu-Tang is in the building, baby.
Oh, yes. Even the Autobots are in the building. That's the air. Sorry, I had to take the banner off so you could see the Autobots in his full fucking glory. Shouts out to the Autobots. Transform. Yeah, I'm down with it. Okie doke. So, the premise of the show is Terence Crawford should not take this rematch. But let me just call out all the members. My bad. Where is my motherfucking manners? Okay. Let me reinstall manners. Manners being reinstalled. Please enter the passcode. Do. Passcode accepted. Manners installed. Yeah, the manners are back in the position. Sorry. All right. So, members only. Shouts out. 4,566 subscribers. That's right. We're moving on up to the side. All right. So, see all members leg out. We have me. Big Bad Bull. James Rudd. Retro Boxing and Documentaries. Team Fatty. Golden BEK. Ahmed. Nesta Bedford. Zara K. Karma Serene, the Queen. I'm waiting for you to come and eat your crow, girl. King Boxing. Con Shaunery. Lisa Bales, the Queen. Ricardo, mi hermano. Stephen T. Mark Niggity Nash. What up, Mark? Are you back yet? Job right side. My sister, R to the left. D-Style Boxing. Devil Beats. AJ all day. Charlo. King TJ, RIP. Upload type el primero, ya tú sabes. Dr. P, my Cardiff brother. Oh, that was painless. I got all right, didn't I? What up, y'all? So, I'm introducing, 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 introducing. It is my guy, one of my favorite people in life. Kenny, two of my favorite people, Kenny Ken and AJ all day Alex. Ding, 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 ding. What up, y'all?
What up, though?
Hello, everybody. Hello, AJ. Hello, lady.
Hey, Chan. Hey, Ken. How's it going?
I take it like the rest of the world. We are witness to, basically, I don't know how to describe it.
We can't
No, I don't know. I think you got greatness, but I think it goes into kind of a few parts. You got greatness, then you got calculation, and you got pure savagery. I don't know what order you want to put it in, but you've got to put savagery in there.
Savage.
Or shall I call brutality?
Yeah. Let's play it. We did all predict that it was going to just be a flawless victory.
Your wife and son, they are lost to me now. The same pain sears both our hearts.
Brutality. Flawless victory.
Listen, that's what it was. We predicted it. We said it. Round 9 or 10 KO and at least 2 times on the canvas. We got 3. It was total annihilation. And what we're not going to do is, you aerosexuals that I hear making excuses now, oh, he too drained. Because I've got about 15 hours of content of you guys calling in and coming on the show saying, you know, he looked well in the way in, the car crash, he's beat people 2 times after the car crash, so that's nothing to do with it. So we ain't got no excuses. The excuses have lifted. Yeah.
And Chan, can I add something right quick?
Yes, you can.
Like, okay, so Earl is a grown man. He's a grown man. He made no excuses after the fight. He knew what he was getting into. He signed the contract. So the people who are still making excuses for him, how bad does that make you look when the man himself is not making any excuses? So don't do that. Don't do that now, okay?
Yeah, that's a good point. What up, country? What up, Golden? What up, Lisa? What up, Arlette? What up, chat? Chickadee chat. We are approaching and we are on the work. We are on the weekly wrap up. Shiggity show.
To be fair,
I want to shout out to Fatty, Team Fatty, the Untouchables. My in the building is being used over there as an intro over there on his show, and I love every time I tune in and I hear oh, shouts out. Yeah.
Sorry.
Right.
To be fair, most of our pundits, a majority of pundits did have Crawford winning. There were a few before the fight, but I don't think anyone predicted that kind of performance because, you know, I think Errol Spence would be the first person to accept this. And same with Derek James. That was the best Derek Spence. That was the best prime Errol Spence at his best.
Right.
And it was just a case where he was never ever going to be allowed to, you know, to get a foothold in the fight. He was never going to be allowed to like I said, dominate him or try and push him back. Carl Froch changed his mind towards the end last week when he said that the bigger man can win. And I always say to people, being big counts for nothing in boxing. It doesn't count for anything. You can be big and you can use your weight, but at the end of the day, he contradicts himself because he says muscles don't win your fights. So why are you going on and saying that Spence being the bigger guy is going to win? Why do people just assume Tyson Fury is a bigger guy, so he should beat Usyk? Not because Tyson Fury is more skillful than Usyk, because he's a bigger guy. It doesn't make sense. The fact is, boxing is boxing. Boxing is boxing. And skill is skill, and if someone can, like I said, take your power, like I said, get within your reach, and load up on you, it's a very difficult night. It doesn't matter how big you are, the other day, and that's what we saw during the fight. We saw a fighter that took the best of Errol Spence, realised that he can cope with that power. And then thought, right, that hasn't done anything for me, hasn't hurt me. Boom, he's getting it now. I know that if I go toe to toe with him, I know that I'll take some of his punches not affecting me, and then I unloaded him, and that's what he did. He unloaded on him.
Listen, I don't want to be like the girl that says I told you so, but we all told you so. A lot of us told
you can say it, Chan. Chan, you can say it.
And I told you so, right? And I even told it so to the point where he will touch the canvas a couple of times. I even told you so that what Terence Crawford, his IQ, go look at my shit. I need to timestamp stuff so I can just, because I do long lives. I even said that Terence Crawford, first round or two, couple of rounds, he will pretend to give out to Errol, this is my level of power, to give Errol that false sense of security. Oh, is that what Terence has got? And then once Errol falls for that, he just turns it up. But none of us knew that he was going to turn it up by round two.
Yep.
Round two. Round two, Errol Spence Jr.'s soul left the building. It left the building. His soul, I could not believe it was, what was even the shot? It was like a...
It was like a reverse. It was like a 2-1. I think that's what it was.
2-1.
Like that
was it. Yeah. It was a 2-1. And just so short in the inside. I just couldn't believe it. I literally...
It was so fast. Spence didn't even see it coming. Like it was that quick.
And we said Spence will go down like everybody else does on shots that you do not see coming. Listen, he came in with Eminem. That's when you knew that he weren't coming to play. I said to people, listen, when people that I know it sounds weird and kind of mystical or even that, when someone plays fair, by the book, by the rules, keeps their body clean, fresh, pure, no smoking, no drinking, no drugging, as an athlete, right? And someone else does the opposite, there is no way that the Most High blesses the person that's abused their body in this sport versus
Ricky Hatton.
That's what they did. We've seen it time and time again. Ricky Hatton, fucking Mike Tyson. We've seen
Riddick Bowe. He abused himself with food. Riddick Bowe.
Yeah.
Any abuse while you're an athlete, it's just against the laws of physics that you win in the booty.
Like you have to completely treat your body like a temple, like an absolute temple, like just something sacred. You can't take any shortcuts or any shortcomings. You really can't. And like Kenny, just to piggyback off of what you said, like how everybody's saying size. See, I know one thing: size would not be a factor in this fight because the thing is, with size, you have to have skill. You have to have equal skill because, like, somebody that comes to mind automatically is Vasyl Lomachenko. Like I said, he said on repeated occasion that he's undersized for 135. But yeah, he was able to beat so many he was able to beat so many fighters because he has skill. He's more skilled than these guys.
Yeah, it just doesn't fucking matter. Terence Crawford, we saw how he pushed Errol Spence off him and Errol Spence flew. Listen, I don't know what's happened to that geezer's punch resistance. All of this, he gave this. A part of me was like, this is either going to go really boring like Mayweather Pacquiao, or this is going to be like like so easy for Crawford that it's stupid. And I thought that, and I batted that away. And I was like, sometimes I listen to other people and they're like, no, it's going to be competitive. But I have been on record saying, and shouts out to Blood, I was on record saying it's for me, it's a 70-30 in favour of Terence Crawford. Everyone was like, 70-30? I was like, yeah, 70-30.
You can't really blame them, though. You can't blame people. You can't really blame people for that, because at the end of the day, you know, Terence Crawford didn't smash the living daylights out of a novice. He smashed the living daylights out of an elite fighter,
a unified champion.
And unified champ and an elite fighter. But I think, to be honest, we really shouldn't be surprised, because one of the things that we mentioned in a breakdown, or leading up to the fight, was that Terence Crawford. Let's not forget, Terence Crawford is just as capable of fighting an orthodox style and fighting as a southpaw. And I think if you look at the reason why Terence Crawford, why Spence got hurt and got battered, it's because simple reason is that he's a the right hand. If you're hitting him with an orthodox, it's like bang. But when the right hand's like that, because he's so used to throwing like that, when it comes like that, and it's a jab, when it's like kind of the equivalent of a right hook, it's got the power of a right hand.
Because he's a right-handed person, but he can.
But he's got power on both hands. He's got power on both hands, though.
And you look at the first knockdown. The first knockdown was an example of someone who's a switch hitter, who's equally powerful on both sides. Where it was just like boom, like that. But it's gone through the guard, and it's not like a case of it's tap. It went boom, like that, and that's why he went down, and he stunned him.
Yeah.
And if you look at the second. And you look at the second knockdown in the 7th round, it was a case like the left hook. Normally, my left hook, because I'm right-handed, is like boom, boom. But I have to put everything into it because he's a natural hander. That left hook was like a hammer. Because you see the way the guy's head went back, and his whole body. It wasn't just his head, but his whole body caved
that was a check uppercut with a hook to the temple.
Check uppercut.
The first one was a neck hook, but you see the way it was like a clothesline in wrestling. Like a clothesline, but it's actually a punch.
And
that's the power of the man.
Even then, when he's finishing them off as they're going down, he hits down a downward trajectory, and the accuracy. He just like, oh God, I felt so sorry for Errol Spence. Like I was
that was embarrassing.
Getting up, fucking Derek James. I knew they had do you know what? We knew it. We gave them the benefit of the doubt of their trash ass media workout. The media workout was trash. We saw that he was getting clipped by Derek James with the left hook, like mimicking what Bud Crawford would do, and he had no reply. He had no defense. Errol Spence Jr.'s face was his defense. That was a Joe Joyce moment. Like he was walking onto shots. He tried. I gave him 2 rounds. One was the first round, but really I could take away the first round because a lot of people gave Errol Spence the first round because he looked like he was the aggressor. But
I gave him the first. I gave him the first based on activity, pretty much. I gave him the first.
That were landed. It was only Terence.
He did all right. Did you see the third round?
I think Terence landed a sharp counter at the end of the first, like a left. So,
he had the first shot of the whole round. He landed the body shot, straight a body shot, a jab to the body, and he go and look at that round. There wasn't much activity, but that was it. But Paul, we give you that.
What about the third round though?
It was a better body shot, but he took the body shot away from the body snatcher. Terence Crawford hit Spence with body shots, the jab, this is the deceptiveness of which I saw with Errol that he realized, fucking hell, was when he thought he was out of range of Terence, and Terence will whip out that jab with that deceptively long reach and just catch Spence every single time. He would double up on the jab, triple up. Spence looked like he wasn't in the Olympics. The Olympics has left the boot.
Bud made him look like an amateur. He made him look like an amateur completely. I mean, it's like he just beat Spence in every inconceivable way. He out-jabbed him. He landed whatever shot he wanted. He pushed him to this. Like that was a dog walk, and he dog walked him.
He fucking dog walked him, and we knew that's why Derek James was antsy towards the lead up of this fight. Why he was snapping, giving a lot of female energy. They did not want the fight. They didn't want the fight.
Making fun of Bomax weight, like that has something to do with the fight, which it doesn't.
Yeah, making fun of Bomax weight. And like Bomax, the one that's in the gym. I mean, that's in the ring. You know, Bomax not the one that's in the ring. It was all deflective. It was all deflective because they were nervous. It was like, all right, I'm just going to pick on you because I'm literally scared for my life that my Trainer of the Year title is lifted borders.
Well, Chad, I mean, over the weekend, like this is why what happened on Saturday is why the PBC and Spence avoided this fight for so long. This is why.
Yep. And listen, this is why the show's called Terence Crawford should not rematch Errol Spence Jr.
Does he need to?
He will kill him, and there will be a murder on the dance floor. We don't want to be responsible.
I think Errol's got 30 days.
Yeah, I would think this amount of damage. Obviously, he's going to be on like the 30-day suspension. This amount of damage with someone that's already fucked up. I've been saying it. This guy, and if you look in my comments, he's fucking heterosexual. I was like, before this fight, lead up to this fight, even a year before this fight, I was like, his slurring is excessive. I don't care about. No, it's his southern drawl. I know what a southern drawl is. I know I'm very accustomed to a southern drawl. I know how Errol Spence Jr. sounded previously before, and I can hear and clearly see fucking deterioration. He would look at the last media workout. I mean, the grand arrivals. That I almost did a report saying, is Errol Spence Jr. drunk? I thought he was drunk. The way he could have been anyway. You know, he'd love a drink.
I think what we need, even if we're talking about his deterioration, even a prime, the way Crawford fought, a prime Errol Spence Jr. without the retina problem and without a car crash, the result would have still been the same.
Yeah.
Because simple reason is that he fought before he had the retina problems and before he had a car crash. He was always a come forward fighter. He was always trying to put pressure on fighters. He was always trying to use body shots and use his shoulder in to try and intimidate opponents. That hasn't changed. The fact is that, you know, sometimes, right, every time we see Crawford fight, we just get more and more shots of it. Can he do that? Oh no, he did that. And the thing is, right, is that the thing with Crawford is that you have to. Not only do you put him as pound per pound. I spoke to my brother because after the fight, because I was you know when you're all unconscious, but that kind of wakes you up. I spoke to my brother, and you know what Crawford is? He's a modern day Marvin Hagler. There's no doubt about it.
Fact.
Okay. Yeah, he is. This when Spence was going around saying this is going to be a one-sided beatdown, he was talking about himself getting the beatdown.
There's some irony for you. How about that?
You spoke it into fruition. That's what you did. You spoke it into fruition. Yeah. You should have never have done that. Now, there's like, it's going to be a classic fight. It's going to be a classic fight. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. A classic fight. It's going to be the modern day Hagler Hearns. That was the 3 rounds of that was the most epic 3 rounds. That was competitive. This wasn't competitive. The competitiveness left the booties in. What up, blood?
You know what? Sometimes, right? I think deep down, when we promote these fights, we look at the records. We like that when we talk about elite fights and the fights that the must-see fights. We like the fact that one opponent has got 2 versions of a belt, and the other one's got another version, and they got similar records. They're both unbeaten. And what we do as boxing fans, we go, "Oh, it's elite. We can't wait." But sometimes, in our subconscious, we know that one of the unbeaten fighters is levels above the other one. And I think, even though we never said it, because we wanted to promote the show and promote the fight, because we want people to get up in their arse and bite the fights, I think deep down we knew that Crawford's was levels above everyone in that division, including Spence. But we dress up. Look, boxing's full of fights like that. We don't have to look at if you want me to go in the Phoenix of the Flames, let's look at about this time 35 years ago. Mike Tyson versus Michael Spinks Jr.
Yep.
Similar records, similar unbeaten records. What happened there? We sold the fight. It was paid. Everyone stayed up for it. One got $30 million, one got $12 million. But deep down, we knew Mike Tyson was levels about Michael Spinks Jr. and that Michael Spinks Jr. was going to shit his pants, which he did, and it was going to last long. But because they got similar records, we go, the biggest fight in the world. Oh, $1 million being sold. Yeah. The biggest selling fight ever. And what happened?
Wasn't competitive at all. One sided over 91 seconds.
We may see that. We may see that with Usyk and Tyson Fury. We don't know which way it's going to do. But I can tell you one thing, right? Sometimes someone's just levels above all the fighters in the division, no matter how many belts they have. And it's the same with if you look over at the lighter weight, Inoue, when he fought Fulton, we saw that 4 days before. Inoue, his levels beyond above everyone in that in his weight category. You know what I mean? And 4 days before we saw the Crawford, I was thinking, oh my God, I've just seen the pound per pound fight, best fighter, Inoue. Then almost 4 days later, I see Crawford. I think, thanks, Terence, because I was about to give it a Inoue. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was speaking to someone, and they did give me a good point that Terence Crawford he's went up multiple weight categories with a lot of pounds in between, whereas Inoue is kind of, I'm not taking anything away from him, but he's got more work to do, and it's only a separation of 3 pounds to to jump at little weights to jump weight categories. So I'd probably, it's for me, if I've just got a pound for pound, maybe top 3, I know Terence Crawford is number 1 between Inoue and I may even put Usyk at 2 and Inoue at 3, just for the sheer fact that Usyk has jumped from that weight disparity is to me, and obviously taking the unified heavyweight champion of the world belts off him. So I'd have to, maybe if I looked at it like that, I think I'd have to put Inoue in as the as maybe 2 or 3 pound for pound. He's got more work to do. The resume's building up nicely. He's on a great trajectory. He can definitely be a 5 division champ, 6 division champ for sure, for sure. So, yeah.
I was like, I think he wipes out Tapala is the other guy. Then
a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, then I'd like him to see to go to featherweight and probably 130 to see what he can do up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me too.
Very fast. He's got very fast hands, and he's got beautiful feet, and his combinations as well. Just beautiful to watch in a way.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to watch. I'm introducing, introducing, my sister, the Queen, Lisa Bell's in the build. Ding, 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 ding.
Hey, Lisa.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
Hey, I can't stay long on the panel. I got to do something here. But I'm here.
I need to
go ahead.
Yeah, 1 second. Thank you.
Okay,
go ahead,
no problem.
Thank you.
Go ahead. No problem.
Go ahead, guys.
Okay, cool. Go ahead, Ken.
No, all I'm saying is that in terms of like the fighting itself, we're talking about the levels of things, but when we look at Terence Crawford, I think there's got to be a situation where we have to give him generational status. We've got because simple reason is that the way he's just clean. He's clean out of the division. It's not just the division. It's that I always look at elite fighters and I always give them like generation fighter status if they can do 2 things. One, clean out the division, but our coaches are themselves in a ring within a fight. And that guy is one of the fighters. He's intelligent. He works it out himself. He works out what he can do and what he can't do. And once you get someone's weakness, boom, that's it. There's no way back for that fight. He gets on top of them. You know what I mean? And there's very few fighters like that. You know what I mean? And I think that's why when I look at Terence Crawford, I think, trust me, mate, this is a modern day Marvin Hagler. He is going to go down in history. And I'm just glad that he got his just desserts and got his money, man. You know what I mean?
Because, me too. I mean, because I've been saying it, man. It's like Earl's good, but he ain't great. And Bud is great. And that's what's gonna mark the difference. It's like it was in a fight, just Bud. He was the one who could make the adjustments. He pretty much did whatever he wanted with Earl, whatever he wanted. I mean, it wasn't even competitive in the slightest, you know. And like honestly, in a way, Bud fought. It's like he was the unified champion and not Errol Spence. Nothing taking nothing away from Earl, but it's like that's kind of what it seemed like.
Yeah.
It was always bad.
He was just lumping up so quick, and he was so red. I was like, wow.
That's why sometimes, you know, when he was fighting, there were times when the beating was so bad. Do you remember that fight years back when I forgot the name of the fighters, but you remember the guy? He was a favourite, but he was fighting against a complete novice. But you know, like they took the padding out of the guy's glove.
Oh, so you mean
Louis Resto?
Yeah, that one.
Billy.
You know the guy kept on just loading up on him, and the guy's face was just smashed.
Yeah.
There were times when I was watching that, I said, "Have they taken some of the padding out of Bud's gloves?" Because I've never seen Spence that beaten, because it wasn't the fact that he got knocked down; his face was battered. It was just, I don't know. It was a mess, man.
He was bleeding from the mouth, the nose, the eye. You know what I mean? Just
if this happened in North London, he would have got arrested. You know that? He would have got arrested for assault.
Yeah. I mean, Ken, did you saw the fight live, right? You bought it, everything.
Yeah.
You saw it live. Okay.
No, I got it online. I didn't go live because I didn't buy it because I think, you know, as you can see, we've got quite a few fights coming up, because remember we've got we got Anthony Joshua versus Dillian White in 2 weeks' time, and I think
we do. Yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah. And then let's not forget we've got Daniel Bois 2 weeks afterwards against Usyk as well. So
I don't
know what you in the United States. You guys must pay about $80. Well, in England we pay.
We actually that's on ESPN Plus. Pick that up for us. I think that's going to be on ESPN Plus for us.
Oh, you're at ESPN Plus. How much is that then?
I think it's a few bucks a month, maybe like $5.99 to $6.99. Like ESPN Plus.
No, it's $10 a month. It went up. It used to be $6.99 a month, then it went down. It went up to $9.99 a month, I believe, or you could get the whole Disney package.
Yeah, I got the Disney package
for $14.99. So that's $14.99.
Yeah, I got the plus. Yeah. I got the package, so that's me. Yeah. So, but then ESPN Plus they pick up the fight, so we'll be able to see it on that. So.
So, see, I think that was the situation we had with in England. We did. I think what you got is you got the equivalent of the design package we have in the UK, where it went up from it was £9.99, and then obviously when Anthony Joshua joined in with the festivities, they put up to £10. But if you're a new customer, it goes to £9.99. But you know, Anthony Joshua's pay-per-views is, you know, in pound sterling, it's about £29.99. But it's Anthony Joshua, isn't it? But in terms of, you know, this fight in the United States, you know, one of the things I noticed when I was looking at the pay-per-views of both fighters, why is it that Spence is getting is getting 10 times the amount of money made than Crawford? That's probably why he was doing that for more money, because he thought he demanded to be the A side because of the fact that both.
I think that's the reason. I mean, I mean, in terms of pay-per-views, he's been more successful, and he does have more belts in a way. So Spence was the A side going in. So, you know, I mean, but I think they got around the same amount, but Spence just got maybe a little more, maybe 1 million more, maybe $1.5 million more, but still they still got left. I think.
Yeah, I didn't even look at the purses, to be honest, but yeah, but he was the one going in with the more straps and had better numbers as far as paper, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that. But basically, you know, it's just like that was just a masterclass performance.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And I think the situation is that he gets written off quite a lot because the simple reason is that I think the thing with boxing is, Spence is more flamboyant. You always know about his personal life. He's the mother of his children, the affluence lifestyle in Dallas, the fast cars, the accidents. Whilst you got someone who just said, "Look, I'm not about that life. I just want to fight." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I think with this performance and the way what he's done, there can be no excuse for not for this guy not to get not just get the big fights, but get well paid as well, because he delivers all the time. Everyone you put in front of him, he tears them apart, man. He tears them apart.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, like now
Yeah, I
with Spence,
remember.
he's knocked out. He stopped every welterweight he's fought. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Undefeated, just the two champions now, unified champion. It's like, but he just tears everybody to pieces, man. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm just wondering if he's ever going to go the distance again in his career.
I don't think he will, because of the reasons that with that kind of thing he's got to his arsenal, it's very rare for someone to have power in both hands, and that comes with practice. The fact that he's practiced fighting in the orthodox style, which most of us fight, and he's also now a seasoned, southpaw fighter, where if you don't know about his career and you watch him fight, you think this guy's a natural southpaw, and that that orthodox. But the fact is, he can, and that makes him a lethal weapon, as it said. I mean, Cole Brook, look what happened to Cole Brook. He took the guy off his feet with that punch. He took him, you know what I mean? The reason why it was deemed a knockdown, because the way Cole Brook, his head didn't go back, his whole body kind of convulsed. He flew around the ring. There was a case of where he went back. He did a backflip, but he landed. But with the backflip, he landed against the rope. So that's why they had to stop it, because that power is something else, man. To this day, has he got hammer in his fists? Has he got a hammer or rocks in his fist? Because I've never seen someone that hit that hard at that level at that weight game. I've never seen it.
I don't know if it's Spence, because he's had surgery on his face, and they're saying maybe scar tissue, but the way his face readied up like that, straight away, his face was ruined by round 4. It was totally fucking ruined. And all I was thinking was, part of me is like, we won. I was listening back to our live, mate. That live, I banged the table so hard. Me and Lisa had such a great fucking time. We had a great time, but I did worry, and I feel that Derek James should have pulled him out at least 2-3 rounds beforehand, because I mean, this guy's gone through landing on his fucking face. There's definitely some neurological damage, and all right, we're not giving him any excuses, because obviously he passed the medical to be able to be in this fight. But you have to think, mate, you can't be letting your fighter take that punishment, knowing what he's already gone through. Like, I was telling people, Bud isn't Danny Garcia. Bud isn't Mikey Garcia. Bud isn't Ugas. Bud isn't Kell Brook. Bud isn't Sean Porter. And shouts out to Sean Porter, because he gave a better fight. Like, Bud beat Errol Spence Jr. easier than he beat everybody fucking else. The ending is always the same, but we didn't think we'd get to the end. We predicted it, but we didn't think that his face was going to look like that. And
Mean Machine was more competitive, wasn't he?
Where was the shades for his post-fight presser? Because he came in there looking like the Elephant Man, and it was sad to see. But if it would have been the other way round, there would have been no grace given to Terence Bud Crawford. Remember, he was top-ranked Toby. Remember, he was a slave. Remember, he was a sellout. Remember, he was a Sambo. Remember, he was this. He was that. His wife's fat. His kids are this. They're too black. They're too... It was fucking pathetic. And I'm glad that Bud called out all of these motherfuckers, especially Suck Cockback Ellie. I'm so glad he got desecrated.
Hey, I went over there and made a comment.
Yeah.
And because I was like, somebody was saying something, and I was like, well, true journalism is facts without biases, without no biases.
Yeah.
And I mean, you do have other type of journalism where you have like the editorials, or one person have like a opposing view or whatever, where you put your, you know how you could debate, opposing viewpoints. But he was like, I don't know if he was talking to me or whoever. He was like, thanks for watching or whatever, and then laughing out loud. He put that like,
who is that?
Yeah, him.
Zytel. Yeah.
No, Suckback. So I was like, because somebody had said something, and because he had made a video about Terence Crawford talking about me or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course he did. Yeah, he felt elated that he even got mentioned. But you got mentioned being desecrated. If you'd like to join the panel, the link is I'll put the link out. You can join the panel, you can call in. It's not a problem. I suspect that we won't get many Terrence Errol
sexuals and
I imagine we've got Elijah in the booties. Ding 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 ding. What up, girl? What's up, Elijah? Elijah Wan in the booties.
You good?
Elijah, we with the fucking. What did I say to you, Elijah? What was going to happen, Elijah? What did I say? What did I say, Elijah?
Yep.
What did I say?
Beat down, but you know what? Like I said, where's that guy? Where's that guy that from last week?
He came on the live at the time. King Asian Math. He came on, and he was like, what was he saying? He was like, yeah, I've come to give Buddy's flowers. Errol didn't look right.
No, Chan. Remember, he said there were 2 channels that were like being shut down. The Bud channels too.
But he was saying, that Bud channels as well as Errol Spence channels didn't go live. I doubt the Bud channels. You meant the fucking aerosexual channels. They're on suicide watch. I went and watched. I watched a bit of a live today of. It was yesterday he did the live, but it was boxing ego, and he brought in the. I wasn't slandering because someone said you were slandering Bud. And he was saying, no, I wasn't slandering him. No way. And people was like, yes, you was.
That's the guy with the glasses, and I'm kind of crewed up now. It's the guy with the glasses, right?
Yeah.
Well.
And
But the question for Elijah. Hey, Elijah, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good, brother. How are you, man? You good?
Yes, sir. So were you picking Spence going in, or no?
Brother, don't listen. All respect, don't ask.
No. I'm just curious. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
it's going to be, I think, a tight fight or something.
Yeah, no. I said like.
But you said Bud.
Okay. A couple of rounds would be like a bit cake, that kind of stuff there. But I was going with Bud, anything from 7 to 11. Stop it.
Yeah,
nice. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure. Okay, because I just got the okay.
Yeah. And,
but boxing.
But even if you had Spence, like no problem with that, bro. I mean, as long as you ain't one of these extremists out here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, even if you went with Spence, it's like so one extremist in any side. That day leading up to the fight, I got called all names in my comments in real. Oh, you Bud Lighters, you Bud Light, you Bud Light. The people that come in my comments now that were the aerosexuals, they tried to come back in my comments and be like, because I went through my comments and I was like, this aged well, and they was like, oh yeah, Bud's the truth. Yeah, I said, do you know what? The one guy said before, I'm only subscribed to you because I want to see your face when Bud gets beat down. So I said to him, so I went back to him and I said, listen, you should unsubscribe. And he was like, I know it was that was a great performance from Ismi. We don't need your fake love. Like, unsubscribe and go back to where you have come from. We don't need you.
Well, we don't believe you. You need more people.
We don't believe you. You need more motherfucking people. Then we've got this guy coming out on record trying to do damage control.
Still fighting to this day. To this day. To this day. You just sit here, you don't know what I'm.
The king
Oh,
elect
God.
was in the building. Right on cue. Right on cue, him coming out on record saying, oh, Errol didn't look like the same. There obviously was something wrong. Look, mate, we don't care. You're the king of excuses coming through to do damage control. Do you think that you're a credible fucking, your opinion is even credible after you gave us your suit was too heavy, you was poisoned by your fucking team, the Varda State Commission was in on it, crabbing about barrel referee.
Throwing Mark Breland under the bus, all that.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, there was multitudes. There was Gypsy Juju. There was a multitude of things. So we don't really want to hear what you've got to say. And it looks like they're PBC, you know, they're trying to do their little damage fucking control, you know, of trying to put the narrative out there that there was something wrong with Errol Spence Jr. Now, I haven't gone on many of these people's, you know, lives because I just don't really care about their shows. But I would like to hear, because I know there's rumblings that some of them are saying that he was there was some conspiracy, and you know the other man has something to do with this, and maybe he was somehow poisoned or drugged. They put something. That's what's going around, that Errol Spence was drugged.
Oh, not
I've
saying he's
heard
drugged.
that.
Not saying he's drugged.
Yeah, I've heard that earlier. Yeah, that's why I just can't. Yeah,
That's why I didn't bother with all that shit. I mean, I didn't
We
bother
knew
with all
it
that.
was going to happen. We knew there was going to be
Excuses. We know.
We knew it, but we're not having it. Your dude got whooped. He got dragged, dog walked, molly-whopped,
Decimated,
demoralized, deleted. Just like his soul had left the building. From round 2, there was nothing that Errol Spence could do. There was nothing. He couldn't counter. His jab was obsolete. Jamel Charlo. I didn't see this at the time, but I've seen all that now. Bud saying after the first knockdown, you know what, Jamel, you are fucking next. And
that's right. I saw that. That was funny.
And I would put Bud to clean Jamel Charlo's clock. Now, do we really want to see a rematch? Not really, but
no.
I think Spence is saying he wants a rematch, but let's see if he really officially exercises the rematch clause. Now, listen, if you like
payday.
Yeah, payday.
You want payday? I know that.
If you think that basically we want to see another lopsided beatdown, and you think at 154 Errol's going to be stronger, so will Bud. So will Bud.
Yep.
Listen, you lot are going to be responsible for a potential life-changing death and extreme damage to Tusa. Yeah, we got ERF boxing. What up, ERF? We don't want to see it.
Good.
Now, what Bud should do, because this is what I would do to be a fucking bitch. What I would do is I'm having a rematch again at 147, bitch. Yeah, we're doing it at 147 again. Yeah, we're doing it at 147. I'm not gonna appease you. Yes, it was probably difficult, like Bud said, to make 147 himself, but we all know he could do it. We all know he came in looking stacked and ripped. We all know he can do it. So Errol Spence, like you said, you agreed to 147, and 147 you shall get, because what you lot did, in my opinion, is disgraceful. I said this after Bud beat that ass. I said he robbed Bud out of his good years. Bud is now 35 years old, and in a couple of weeks he's going to be 36. You dragged this fight out for 5 fucking years, right? Now we can't even get 5 more years out of Bud Crawford because of Errol Spence Jr. and the PB fucking C, right? So for me, I ain't doing nothing that's easy for you lot. Nothing. We're fighting again at 147, mi hermano. That's what we're doing. And it's a free fight deal. So I've taken off one fight. I did one fight. I'll fight you at 147 for the second fight. And if you still want it, you still want to get a beat down, I'll then move up to 154, and I'll beat you at 154, and my deal would be suffice, and it would have left the booties. That's what I would do.
LadyChann, there ain't going to be no third fight if there's a second fight.
Yeah.
There ain't going to be enough left.
Well, then just give me Charlo for the third fight, and I'll clean his as
no
well.
matter what weight, what time, what year, what thing, Bud was always winning that fight. The same way I called Mayweather Pacquiao for years. Mayweather was going to win that fight no matter what year, what age, whatever. Bud was always. I'm so pissed that I called it was going to be the 7th round, and Derek James should have pulled him out after that 7th round. He should have never gone out there in the 8th round. He should have never got. I was so pissed that he came out for that 8th round because I was like, why? He's done. He was done. He nearly went through the rope. He nearly did a Bernard Hopkins. He was nearly like Bernard Hopkins outside the ropes in the end of the 7th round.
Yeah, he was really outside. And then shouts out to that referee. That referee was a good ref.
Harvey Dock is a good ref. He's a good ref.
Yeah, he didn't get too involved. He didn't get over involved. He wasn't imposing himself. He did good.
Yeah, he let Bud work. He let him work inside. And the one thing is, all those Spence fans were saying that once Earl gets something inside, Bud will be in trouble. Bud was so calm on the inside. He was calm. He was countering. His eyes was locked in on Earl on the inside. He was bullying him. He was pushing him. Earl did not know what to do. And this is what Earl knew what was coming. For 5 years, he told everybody 5 years ago he was going to take the easy route. And people are bigging up these wins like Sean Porter. Yeah, he was a good fighter. Keith Thurman already beat him. Kell Brook already beat him. You beat Danny Garcia. Thurman already beat him. You bring up Mikey Garcia. You beat up
beaten any undefeated champs. Never.
You beat up Mikey Garcia, who was 2 weights below you. Yeah. You beat up Ugas. Sean Porter already beat him. Your resume isn't as good as people are making out to be. It never has been. He already told you lot he's going to take the easy route. If Crawford had said, I'm going to take the easy route and fight David Avanesian, these Still Spence fans would have been on him saying, he said he was going to take the easy route. He's going to fight David Avanesian. He's going to fight Mean Machine. He's going to fight this. Earl already told you the easy route was Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia. He already told you that, and you didn't want to listen.
And that easy route that he took with Sean Porter wasn't easy because it went the distance.
No, he damn near lost that fight.
Nearly lost, almost lost.
He damn near. If it weren't for that knockdown, he would have lost.
Yeah,
and he still got a split decision.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, if the other judges would have had to have gone unanimously, if they would have, it would have been unanimous if it wasn't for that fucking knockdown, that flash knockdown.
Yeah. I mean, it was a flash. If Sean Glove had only just touched the canvas.
And then it was ruled as a knockdown. Fair enough.
This was 5 years in the making. Bud was always going to do this to him. Spence knew this. I don't understand how people, like you said, PBC was disrespectful to that guy, and he let every ounce of disrespect show on Earl Spence's face within 3 rounds.
Yeah.
After 3 rounds, there was no fight. It was a sparring session for Crawford after 3 rounds.
Yeah, that's what it was.
ERF, I said this. I said Bud is going to take out his years of frustration on this guy. That's what I was saying too as well.
That's what you saw. That's what you saw. Earl Spence fans was convincing themselves that Bud had nervous energy. We've seen Bud. When you piss him off, he's not a nice guy. Jose Benavidez pissed him off. Look what he did to him.
Yep.
This guy is a vicious person when you piss him off.
Let me jump in by saying this as well, yeah? I've always said that from round... He actually carried Spence.
Round 8, he didn't even try.
I thought that too, Elijah. I thought that too.
Yeah.
He carrying Spence, because you know what, like I said, he's looking at it, he said, mate, you're going to feel... Bro, this is 5 years in the making, you know?
Yeah.
And like I said, obviously, LadyChann's already told me about like that Toby bar. I'm like,
They was disrespectful to that man. This
is what they get. This is what they get.
That's why he got beat down like that.
And now, Bud already told y'all, when I beat you, they're going to say you drained and you stayed at 147 for too long. But you know what? I hope Earl takes the rematch, and I hope Bud gives it to him at 154 because if he couldn't handle Bud's power at 147, oh God help him. He better hope Bud catches him. Bud catches him early with a one-punch knockout because that beating is going to be worse.
Yeah, you got to put him out of his misery. Do it.
It goes the same way at 154. Probably not a cold knockout this time.
No, he's going to get stopped sooner.
Sooner. He gets stopped.
His skill set isn't on Crawford's skill set. On the level as Crawford's skill set. It never has been. And I've said it for years. His skill set isn't there to what Crawford is. Crawford will always beat him skill for skill. And now we know Crawford has more power than him. All this man down, people.
Man down. Strap.
People keep saying man down.
Well, there's your man down. There's your man
down. Bud has 11 straight knockouts. 11 straight knockouts. And
all the welterweight. All the welterweight.
Oh, who's he beat? Who's he knocked out? Who's he knocked out? Oh, well, now we know.
For 6 years. Bar Ugas, before Ugas, it was 6 years.
This guy,
no one for 6 bloody years.
This guy has gone undisputed twice, and both times he knocked the guy out. Both undisputed fights.
King of the ring is Ibutus.
Both of his undisputed fights, he knocked the guy out.
And they weren't even competitive.
And neither was remember when he beat Ndongo? Remember when he beat Ndongo?
That was easy.
And everybody said, everyone's like, oh well, who's Ndongo? Look what he did to Ndongo. Ndongo clearly wasn't up to it.
Yeah, he's trash. Oh, you fought nobodies. Well, we've just made Errol Spence look like a nobody. The nobody entered the boot.
Well, by all rights, Terence Crawford's resume is still trash.
Yeah.
Because all those people on his resume before did a better job than Errol Spence did. Yeah. So how can his resume be any better?
Yeah. Errol Spence, you made the resume even if his resume was trash before, you've made it even trash now with that performance.
Yes, exactly. He's made it worse. It worse.
I mean, and Chan, I've said this before. And I'm going to keep saying it. See, Derek James, this is why you shouldn't disparage your opponents by saying he's fought nondescript opposition.
Yeah.
Because look what he just did. Look what he just did to your boy. How about that?
He made him nondescript. We don't even know who.
The problem, Derek James in that fight was too emotional. I remember when Kenny Porter threw in the towel against Bud, and Errol Spence and Derek James came out and said, "Oh, why you pull the boy out? Oh, your daddy had to save you, blah blah." Though all those things was playing through their mind after round 7. It was playing in the mind that they don't want to pull him out because they don't want him to go out like Sean Porter. Yeah. That's the only reason why Errol Spence went out there. It was never a fact that they believed he could turn the fight around, whether he could land it. Even in the 8th round, he landed a body shot, and the body shot looked so soft. It looked like there was nothing at all, and I was like, wow.
Bud was like, oh, okay, is that what you got? Errol said, when they asked him, when did you realise Bud's power? Oh, right. Errol Spence said, round 1 in the boot.
Ted, you know what it was? It was probably that left counter he hit him with against the rope.
Yeah, straight away. Wow. Fucking straight away.
Earl did not win a minute of that fight.
Crazy. Hey, I gotta go take care of something, so I'll be listening, okay?
All right, Lisa.
All right, Lisa. Spence got given the first round on forward momentum because he was coming.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Yeah, I gave it to him off activity. I did. So
basically because he was coming. It's not that he won he didn't do anything to win the first round, but neither did Bud. So it's one of those you expect Bud to, because everybody expects Bud to start slow. You automatically go to, well, I'm used to Bud starting slow. Yeah, Spence's round. Let's see.
All Bud needed was 1 round to download. That's all he needed.
Yeah, that's it. Because everybody was saying, oh, he starts slow. So does Spence usually, but he just knew I can't start slow. I'm just going to bank the rounds real quick. Outcomes and.
I have never seen Terence Crawford so calm.
Yeah.
He had no emotion on his face, in the pocket. He was just calm. He was catching and shooting.
The last final presser of when he was going back and forth with that guy, and it was like, oh,
I get active.
Too emotional. Even Elijah said, you don't want to take that emotion. For me, that put a battery. I said that just put a battery in his back.
That's what Jose Benavidez did to him. He got him active. Jose Benavidez pissed him off.
Racist shit. Pissed him off, and then you just knocked him out. Yeah, 12 in round 12. Let me do this super chat. Let me do this. Shouts it out. Shouts out to AJ for dropping that half a dub on your girl. Thank you, AJ, all day. Thank you for
You're welcome.
donation as usual. Massively appreciated. We are on the chiggity, 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 riggity rap show. Chris, is this you?
Yes.
What up, Joe? Talk to me.
I came on a few weeks ago, and it was
the week before last, I think.
Yeah, we were entertaining the Spence sexuals.
Yeah.
And I told you I was going to the fight.
Yeah. Did you go?
Yeah, I went. Let me just tell you how electrifying this fight was. So Friday, I had to wait. We waited like an hour to get into the building for the weigh-in, and it was like 115 degrees in Vegas. So everybody's out there just sweating. So the best thing that happened to us was Keith Thurman came by, Sean Porter came out there, Charlo was out there before he got slapped up. So it was a few boxers actually came out there, took pictures with us, 'cause we were just out there just sweating, waiting to get in the building. So as I'm out there, I never seen so many Spence fans in my life. Like, I thought this was just like an internet thing. These guys really believed in this guy. They traveled all the way from Texas. They did all this big talking. Oh yeah, Spence this, Spence that. And the Bud fans is just looking at him like, okay, we gonna see. We get in the building, and they did a weigh-in, and then here goes Spence talking about this BS. Oh, I'm the A side. That's why I said Spence Crawford. And I'm screaming out, well, next time it's going to be Crawford Spence. And then people start saying, yeah, Crawford Spence. I'm out there just screaming fish fry the whole time. Everybody chanting fish fry. But these guys is just really believe this guy's going to win. So the day of the fight, I came after, a guy in Bud camp, so-called Nelson.
Yeah, Steven Nelson. Yeah.
Steven Nelson. Yeah, I came in at his fight. I came in his fight, and then he was the only prelim fight I seen, and then I watched the rest of the main card. Before I get into the fight, did you guys think Isaac Cruz won that fight? Because I didn't.
He lost that fight. Listen, no, hang on. No, he didn't really. It was a close. It was a close fight, but I didn't. I edged it even to that guy that was trash, Cabrera. I edged it to him, just off the naked eye. Yeah.
I think Isaac kind of nicked it because he was hitting the guy clean a lot of clean shots.
Towards the end, maybe towards the end.
But
he just showed me he's trash anyway. I honestly didn't think he'd won myself. So I'm with Chris. I honestly didn't think he'd won. And I said because we was watching it, I said they're going to give it to Isak because they want to do a Tank rematch. So he has to win. Them guys were both.
Fight's dead. That fight's dead, LadyChann. Then after that performance, they ain't gonna do that fight no more. They're gonna swerve away from that fight.
He did look like trash though. He did
nothing. So they will. Tank's just going to be like a Tyson Fury and the Deontay Wilder. They're just going to find two people that they just fight religiously back to back to back. That's what they do.
I mean, but how sad is that? Isaac's, that's pretty much what his whole career is now, just waiting for a Tank rematch. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm waiting.
He didn't even win the first fight. I don't even understand.
What I'm saying.
He didn't even win the first fight.
Sorry, I just want Chris to finish.
Sorry.
The rest of his story because he's the only one on the panel out of us that actually attended the fight, and I'm seriously jealous. So go ahead.
Yep, go ahead.
So everybody, as you know, it was rumored that Eminem was going to come out. We didn't know that. So Spence lost the coin toss. He comes out, whatever, you know, all the Spence sexuals going all crazy. And I'm just looking like, this guy looks fucking high. Like, did you guys notice Spence looked like he was on edible or he just smoked a blunt? I'm like, what is wrong
he
with
was
him?
just scared.
He looked that
was
way
his worried
backstage.
face.
He looked that
He
way
was
backstage.
scared. I think he
He
knew the
was
shit
worried.
hit the fan. He's like, oh
He
God, I
was
really
worried.
am doing this now. I really am doing this. I think it was nerves.
Yeah.
That guy was nervous 5 years ago when Crawford was in front of him. He's been nervous.
Yeah. When Crawford pulled up on him, one of them was wearing the maroon top. Yeah. And he was like, why fight you? I'll just take the easy route, you know. Fight Sean Porter that you went the distance with, split decision. We don't leave nothing here for the judges. Yeah, we knock motherfuckers out. And I say we because I was fully invested. Well, I'm fully invested. I know I'd spoken. This fight would tear up marriages, relationships. Listen, right? I fully had to embody this whole fight. I don't care because what people don't realize is it's hard. Okay, when you're a content creator, right, and then you obviously shut the laptop and then you go back to your normal life. But when you go back to your normal life and you shut the laptop, as a content creator, you're still getting messages from people desecrating you and calling you names and saying the most derogatory things to you. Yeah, they're in your Instagram DMs, they're in your comment section on YouTube, they're atting you on Twitter, they're in your Twitter DMs, they're in your Facebook, like you're getting it left, right, and center. So it can make you put you on this kind of, you know, vibe where it's just war. And unfortunately, it kind of trickled over into my private life a bit. There was contention and war. But you know, this is a victory lap for myself as well, and I know other content creators that got this same abuse. So that's why we say we, and that's why we're so invested. And you just got to leave people alone to be invested and let them bask and let us bask in our fucking glory. Sorry.
You've got to, because you know for a fact if Earl had won that fight in that fashion, it would have they'd have gone off. I don't like the humble thing most of them are putting on Twitter. I'm still laughing at them. You can say what you want because we know in the next breath you're going to say, well, Earl was drained. And Spencer Crawford already told you, when I beat you and I stop you, they're going to say you're drained. We already knew what was coming. We knew what was coming, so I don't want to hear it.
No, we don't
care. You lot knew Spencer was going to be drained and you still picked him to win. So there's no excuses.
They were saying Bud was drained. I was like, even Bud's cheeks was poking out. Then the next day I was like, oh, they both look like they've rehydrated. Cool. There was rumblings that, you know, Spence came in tight at the weight, 147 on the dot. I knew that was tight for him. I had, you know, Terence Crawford coming at 146 3/4. I know that was tight for him, but, you know, he's a professional. He always does it. I didn't realize that he walked around at 185. Our commentary, shout out to, because do you know what I liked about our commentary? Because I said this on the night, we had no horse in the race as such. It wasn't on our network. None of the fighters was like a Matchroom or a Queensbury. So they had Denzel Bentley, Kell Brook, and Carl Frampton around the table, right? And before the fight started, they just like Bud, because he's just a once in a lifetime fighter. And we know that skill set that he possesses, it just versus Errol Spence, it's just not going to work well for Errol Spence. Now, did they know that he'd get bounced up and down the canvas looking bloody like that? No, but they did all say that Spence was getting stopped. And then Amir Khan was like, did I say Kelbrook or Amir Khan? Yeah. Amir Khan was there. Amir Khan was like, well, Bud walks around. I was in training camp with him. He walks around at 185. He ain't as little as people think. And to see what he does in training is fucking amazing and remarkable. So from then, it was solidified to me. And our commentary, they was like, after he beat fucking Spence like that, they was like, this geezer is a mix of Pernell Whitaker, Oscar De La Hoya, Floyd Mayweather, and they said one other person, right? And
Marvin Hagler.
They just said that is just fucking It's just amazing.
My thing with it, LadyChann, is my thing is with it is this was his easiest fight. I don't even think he showed levels in this fight. He didn't get out of gear two. So for people to say, oh, this is this crowd. I understand it's Spence and I understand it's for Undisputed, but this was his easiest fight. He's shown levels in other fights against lesser fighters who's made him go to that third and fourth gear where he's had to. Jose Benavidez made him go. Gamboa made him go through gears to actually do something. Spence didn't, but everybody's giving him this credit of, oh, you can see how much of a. And I'm like, yeah, but he didn't even show a quarter of what his capabilities is in that fight.
He's just got better and better as every fight. That's what I believe. He's just got better and better every fight.
No, I agree with that. But the fact of the matter that it's took these fans who was hating on him, saying he hadn't fought no one, he's not this, he's not that, and it took this fight where he didn't even show a quarter of his abilities in this fight to pull out the win. It baffles me that you couldn't see this talent before the Errol Spence fight, because I know I could. I know a lot of people could, but they seemed all they wanted to do was bash Spence. It wasn't a bash Bud. It wasn't even about bigging up Spence. It was everything about Bud's resume, how he fights. He got hurt by Gamboa. He's done this. He's chinny. He's this. He's that.
How did all of his fights end for the last 10 runs? They all ended with a fucking knockout, TKO or KO. So
it was against nobodies. It was against nobodies.
Rumbled him. What happened to the people afterwards? Okay, they knocked out. Ugas, I saw Ugas knock out Errol Spence's mouth guard and stun him, not more in a couple of 2 or 3 times within that fight. I knew Bud Crawford was just going to fuck him up. I knew his punch resistance, I don't know where it's gone, but he just never fought big punches.
I said this last week.
He hasn't.
I said this last week on another pod. I said that you think if Crawford hurts Spence like Ugas did, Crawford ain't gonna jump on him. What happened in the 9th round? As soon as Spence went reeling back a bit, Crawford was on him. The referee had to stop it because we know what was going to happen.
It was just
we knew what was going to happen because the moment he saw Spence do the skanky leg, he was done. It was done.
Recovered. He didn't recover from.
And he told him he's going to have him doing the stanky leg 5 years ago.
Yep.
He said that verbatim.
He did.
That's true. But I gave him the benefit of the doubt.
He's the prophet. Everything he said on that night, I think funny enough, I think it was to the day, 5 years to the day when he said it. He more or less, he said it that night happened. He told him he was going to get him to do the skanky leg. He told him, when I stop you, they're going to say you were too drained. You stayed at 147 for too long. He told him what was going to happen.
Yeah. And now you're still fighting to this day. Yeah, I know you got damage control.
Still fighting to this day. To this day. To this day. You just sit here, you don't know what I'm.
Shouts out to Mello for dropping that $2 on your girl. Man down, strap season, laugh, 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 laugh. Exactly. The laughter is
it was man down and it was strap season.
I'm not even
it was just Bud.
Season and man down, but it wasn't Spence's strap season, or he was the man that was down.
I was also screaming out strap season over. The Spence fans was so angry with me.
So what could you see happen at the fight? The
first round, everybody. Well, let me go back. So when Eminem came out, the whole place just erupted. I mean, even with him coming out with a fishnet on his robe, it was just some next level shit. Like, everybody in there was just going insane. Like, okay, we're finally here, and this guy comes out like this. Nobody expected Eminem to come out, and nobody expected him to come out with his robe being a fishnet. Like, that was fucking amazing. So the first round, we all seen it. It just like what Bud usually do. He's downloading. So it wasn't really nothing there. But when they seen Spence get knocked down, their faces was like, wait, what? That got to be a slip. Nah, well, what's happening? They was all looking around at each other like, whoa, what's going on? He's down? How? He's terminated. He can't go down.
Nah, he went down. But go ahead.
Then and then I don't know if you guys remember the third round. For some reason, I don't know if Derek James told Spence or whatever, but he came out very, very aggressive,
Yeah,
and he just kept getting countered and countered after that. So then when he went down twice in the 7th round, the Spence fans started walking out. They was like, all right, this is all we need to see. We're done.
Wow.
Yeah, they was done because
They started leaving.
we all was watching the fight, so we knew he wasn't winning any rounds. We all know he don't have one punch knockout power. We seen him losing the infight, which he claimed he's the strongest at. We seen him getting pushed around. There was no coming back from that. So once he got knocked down, and that was a 10-7 round, they got up. They was like, all right, we seen all we need. We don't need to see our favorite fighter get demolished like this. But then as they kept going, not even the 9th round, the 8th round, but even Bud fans are screaming out, just stop it. Why are we still watching this? There's no way he can come back. Stop the fight. And they just wouldn't stop the fight until the 9th round when he was really hurt.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah. Wow.
His face after 4 rounds looked like he'd been in a 12-round fight. After 4 rounds.
I mean, after the 7th, he was in survival mode from the 8th round, 9th round on. That was it. Like, he was
I don't understand. I do not understand why they allowed him to come out of that corner, because after the 7th, as soon as the 7th finished, you saw Derek James jump onto the ring apron and say something to Spence. I don't know whether it was like, "Do you want me to stop it or what?"
Want me to stop
or whatever.
And Spence said
But
no. Yeah.
I was like, nah, it's done. Then when he came out for the 8th, I was like, why? For what reason is this guy in there? You could see on his face, the expressions on his face, every feint Crawford threw, he bit on every single thing. He was scared. Fair play to him for hanging in there. Fair play to him, but he after that 7th round, he didn't want to be in there anymore. He was fighting for just. He was just fighting on instinct. Like
he was too
I don't
tough
think
for
he
his
was
own good.
hoping I don't think he was hoping he would catch him. I just think he just didn't want to be that guy that got stopped. After all of that, he just didn't want to be that guy that got stopped. He just wanted to see the 12th round. I believe that's the only reason why
he didn't want to go out and make it look like he quit or anything. He didn't want to quit or anything. I mean,
It was
After this fight, Terence Crawford is a more dangerous fighter. Did you guys hear what they said? They said instead of working on the flicker jab, they just worked on a straight jab.
A ramrod jab, yeah.
Oh my God, he'd have been knocking people out way faster if he'd been throwing this jab way earlier. This has been insane.
But if you notice, he normally does that in the second half of the fight when he switches to southpaw. He normally switches to southpaw and then starts throwing that jab. But because they knew how Earl was going to come in, because Earl fights the same way every single fight, every single opponent, they thought we'll start southpaw and we'll use that.
Yeah, we've got to negate that. We've got to negate that jab. We've got my OG boxing beats and rhymes. What up, Joe? What up, Beats?
Hi there.
What? Oh, Beats, mate. We saw a one-sided blood clot beat down in the booties. Beats, what are you hearing on these YouTube streets? Are you hearing excuses? Are you hearing? What are you hearing?
I heard rumors about a premature stoppage. I heard something about him being drained.
Yeah, we heard that one. We heard that one.
The glove
we
now?
heard that one. Yeah, it's not flying here. Do you think he should take the rematch? I don't.
Here's why I think about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've waited 5 years for that fight, and he's had a lot of people like Ellaby, the LDBC, the PBC. They've pumped him up and made him believe that he's one of the best fighters ever, and he's just been totally deconstructed, right, over 9 rounds, totally. So how do you come to terms with that? So it's either he accepts that maybe, all right, I'm not as good as they say I am, or it was a bad day at the office and I go and fix it in December. So it's a difficult one for him because psychologically, what do you do? Because if you were rational and you took a beating like that, you wouldn't go nowhere near that ring.
No,
you won't go nowhere near it.
Definitely not in December.
I believe he has to take
You're going to be on a 30-day suspension before you can even come back and train. So that brings you into ending of August, beginning of September, and then plus you've had to heal in that time as well. Then psychologically, you have to get over the fact that this is your first loss, and then go into training camp and face that all within 4 months, 3-4 months. Nah, 3 months. Nah.
Here's the thing, though, Chan, right? If he doesn't take it, where does he go? How does he get up for any other fight?
We don't care, Beats. That's what it is. You know why we got to not care? Because he's getting bun out. Do you know why I'm bunning him out? Because what he did and his fan base, what they did with Terence Crawford, like Terence Crawford said, they blackballed me. They did this, they did that. They took away Terence Crawford's best years. Terence Crawford could have been 2-time undisputed.
It was more the politics though than Errol Spence though.
Yeah, but Errol Spence was quite happy to go along with it. 2 fighters fight when they want to fight, mate. A fight happens when 2 fighters want to fight. Terence Crawford has always shown that he's wanted to fight. He's pulled up on people. He went free agent. That weren't good enough. He now went to the PBC. That's the only reason why that fight happened. Listen, and the PBC are still doing damage control on Errol Spence Jr., sending out John A. Wilder and all of these people to, say, he didn't look too right to me. Fuck off.
Yeah, but come on, man. Deontay Wilder said he got hit by... I mean, of all people you're going to send out there, the man who said he got hit by egg weights. You're going to send out the man who said he got hit by egg weights.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like, come on.
The thing is, I believe Spence will take the rematch at 154. Now Bud has come out and said, Bud's come out and said that it's not out of the realm. He'll do it at 154. He's happy to do it there.
Yeah, it's not out of the realm. He's just going to get battered again.
It's not out of the realm.
What's up to Terence?
He is, but like Beat said, where does Errol go from here? It's literally fight Crawford or don't fight anyone.
Go and do your because remember, you don't take tune-up fights. Now you better go take a tune-up fight. If before you do this Crawford fight, take a tune-up fight.
The thing is, if he takes the tune-up fight, there's no Crawford fight because there's too much time between the fight. And people will be like, nah, we don't. If he doesn't take this rematch now, it'll never come along because nobody will want to see it. It's not interesting.
Can I just say this?
Taking a rematch.
Can I just say this though? Yeah, right. Copin09's one of my subs. He said, "How is Derek James going to fit all these fights in? If AJ is going to fight Deontay Wilder in December, how is Spencer going to fight?
Yeah, my guy in December as well.
How do you fit all that in?
I think AJ's in January now. I think the AJ fight's in January with Wilder now.
Yeah, I think it's.
It's close, but still, it's still the same time frame.
Yeah, it's still the same time frame. There's two training camps.
I mean, you got that look.
Yeah, but it's
Frank Martin just fought like 2 weeks ago, so he could fit it in. Frank Martin just fought 2 weeks ago.
It's the same. It's the same as
Frank Martin, and look, he's just scraped by a fucking win.
But Jan, AJ fights in 2 weeks. It's the same. It's the same difference.
No, it's not. Because what it's coming down to, you've got AJ, you've got Spence, got Spence, AJ, Jamel, you've got Ryan Garcia. How can you give all of these elite high earners the same attention?
Your undivided attention.
How? I agree.
And now AJ's talking about. I know Carl Froch is going to re-enter the chat and going to say, you left Rob McCracken and saying that Rob McCracken didn't teach you defense. Or look what happened to you said that you needed defense teaching. Well, we didn't see the defense had left the Buddhism.
that went down to Derek James.
That you can't. That's not down to Derek James.
That's not down to Derek James. Who is it down to?
It was down to him,
as well.
Inactivity, drinking. Doing what he was doing. He hasn't dedicated himself to the sport.
I disagree. This is Derek James' fault.
Commentators were saying, Beats. Errol Spence, every time he threw a punch, he didn't even come back to reset. His hands was back down low. So it was easy for Terence Crawford just to counter him and just, He didn't have no defense. He didn't. Usually, Errol Spence comes in super high guard.
But
guess what?
that's
Crawford came with the super high guard, and he
This
came
is
in
my point, LadyChann.
as
This
well.
is my point. This is my point where I don't think it is because Derek James has taught Earl Spence defense. He's shown in his previous fight he has defense. In this fight, but he just couldn't do nothing with Bud. So this is why I said the defense.
The Bud, yeah, is because we're dealing with an all-time great. This is what it is.
Yes.
Keep it 100.
Yes. So this is why I'm saying
I'm not gonna disrespect. Yeah. Like obviously Spence is like he's a
no, we're here to fully disrespect. No, you need to go in the chat, Elijah, because we're here to fully look. We're here to fully disrespect. If you're not here to fully disrespect, we're here to fully disrespect.
Listen, When I'm saying disrespect, listen. What I'm trying to say to you is this: like obviously he's a what? He's a world level fighter, but you're dealing with a guy. Listen,
he's not elite. He's not elite.
I'm great.
He's not elite.
Yeah.
No. World level. We can't deny it. In the welterweight division right now, yeah, you could say it's weak or whatever, but he's like,
yeah, he's still going to beat people.
If you're going to bring up Derek James, then you're going to have to bring up the other 39 opponents' trainers as well. That
was my point, B.
We're talking about generational talent here, so.
Yeah, that was my point with the defense thing. That was my point.
The other 39 people, they fought way better than Spence did, so we can bring up their those other coaches. Their fighters are more prepared than Spence. Spence was the less prepared I've ever seen in my life.
So what my point is not. I'm not saying person in general. In general, the defense. Derek James has taught Earl Spence defense in this fight. Don't know where it was, but you can't go off just this fight saying, "Oh, Derek James doesn't teach defense." He has done it before. Earl Spence in his last however many fights, he's shown defense. The point of
Kenny, do you put any blame on Derek James as a trainer at all?
Well, in this fight,
I put blame on him.
Yeah,
no, for simple reasons that Crawford fought a perfect fight. You know, everything that Errol Spence, put on the table. Crawford just, worked his way through the fight, worked out the weaknesses, and went for him. This was brutality, savagery, and calculation. Doesn't matter any version of Errol Spence Jr. Crawford wins that fight. It was Crawford's got levels. There's levels to what Crawford can do. As we said before, he's a generational fighter. Errol Spence is an elite fighter because of his record and because of the belts he held. But this guy's levels above him. It just happens like that in boxing. Sometimes, you look at both fighters' records. You build yourself up and you say this is going to be a great, great fight. But deep down, that the guy he's fighting, it's just levels above. And it's happened time before. We built this fight up because they're both their unbeaten records, and both because people who are fans of both fighters made it a subjective argument, and really, factually, from what we've seen before and what we know about Crawford, we kind of expected this, but we didn't want to accept it because we wanted a close fight. We wanted a fight where we could say, it went one way or another. But deep down, because of Crawford's power in both hands, the fact that he can fight orthodox and southpaw, and the fact that because he can fight orthodox, his right hand is very powerful, his left hand is very powerful. So when he's fighting, throwing that right hook, it might as well be a right hand. That's where the power came from. That's why the guy's face was battered. But so really true, there's nothing Derek Jones could have done with it because Earl Spence would have worked it out. He would have said, okay, he's got a good defense. I'm going to find another way to open him up. Maybe go downstairs and then let the hands go. Then I'm going to come in. He just had every answer for it. It's simple. That this is an elite fighter.
I can agree with that.
You know what it is?
Fighters working out.
You know what it is, yeah? It's the fun. It's getting the fundamentals down, but doing it really well. He studied Kell Brook, right? Well, Kell Brook was jabbing over the top of Brooks of Errol's hand, and he done that better than Brook did. And Brook did a good job, but he's obviously he done his studying, man, and he had his number. Just had his number.
He has got his number. This is what I was saying with the aspect of Derek James as a trainer not teaching defense, or whatever. I disagree with that. The whole I don't believe Spence, no matter what Spence it was, who's trained Spence, he wasn't beating Bud.
You could have had Angelo Dundee in there. You could have had
I
Angelo
don't believe
Dundee in there, bro.
but I've said,
No difference.
Anyone in there.
I've said it for years. I don't believe that he was going to beat him. So I don't think it's more about defense as if it was as it is skill level and talent. That's what it was.
Let me ask you this question. You're right. He taught him everything. But what I seen is when Crawford and Spence had media day, we all seen Derek James with the mitts hit this man upside his head twice, and he said "fuck this" and went to the heavy bag. That's what I'm talking about. What happened?
Derek James. Listen, if Derek James is hitting him with that shot, do you not think Derek James is saying, "Earl, get your hand up"? He's telling him to do this shit.
We didn't see it during the media training. We didn't see it.
You don't need to. Yeah, but Spence ain't listening.
Listen, Ryan Garcia was with Eddie Reynoso, and he still couldn't get himself together. You know, you could have the greatest trainer. Like AJ's blaming everything on trainers, but sometimes, like, if you're not up,
it's down to you.
You haven't got the hunger or the whatever.
Well, you have to also remember what he said about Eddie. He said that Eddie didn't make any time for him. He said that. Those was Ryan's words. He said that's why he left.
Oh man,
I'm telling you what he said. I'm not telling you.
No, you're right. He did say that, but then he's gone to a gym where he ain't gonna get all that time. So it's not.
Eddie
It wasn't the reason.
He got Canelo. We had Oscar Valdez. He got several other fighters.
Listen, Derek James has the same amount of fight as what Eddie has, and he's gone there. It wasn't about. He didn't get time for him. Ryan just didn't want to do the work.
That's what I'm saying.
At that point in time.
That's it. It was just Ryan. He was just being
a baby. I swear Canelo even said that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, Canelo said he's lazy. He used that excuse.
He's not dedicated.
He used that excuse saying that he wasn't getting enough time, but time has now proven that wasn't the case because he's gone to Derek James, who has a roster of world-level fighters who he has to take care of.
Here's the thing. He's saying that Eddie didn't have time. His dad asked him, Eddie, if he'd take him back.
Yeah, it was never about that. We know it wasn't about that.
The only reason he's not at Eddie is because Eddie wouldn't take him back in the gym. He didn't want him in the gym no more.
Listen, we knew it wasn't about that. I understand what he said, but we all know now. We all know it wasn't the fact that Ryan was lazy. He wanted his fame. He was just hoping his fame on Instagram and whatever his marketability would take him through. He's proven time and time again in fights. He just isn't at that level.
Yeah, there's not much Errol could have done. There's not much Errol could have done.
No, there isn't.
We all can agree there's nothing. There's nothing at all. I mean, even thinking about it, right? Everything just kept saying he keep calling himself Mr. Fundamental, while his coach is saying the other guy's so talented, but we have Mr. Fundamental. So in the world, what did we expect that happen? Your coach is telling you, hey, you're just the most fundamentalist guy, but then the other guy's super skilled. What did they expect?
Fundamentals is basic. That's the thing. What he doesn't realize is fundamental is just basic. That's what you're saying. He knows the basics. He does the basics well. You need to be able to do more than the basics well to be a talented fighter. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, Bud Crawford, he can do all that and then some.
Exactly. So being more fundamental, being in that you're basic, you've got the basics down better than somebody else. Talent will always be that. Bud can do all of that and more. Everybody kept saying that Earl's the knockout puncher. This is what I mean. The disrespect.
Who told you Earl was a knockout puncher? He ain't got no knockout.
Have you? Well, that's my point. I'm not agreeing with that.
When's the last time he knocked somebody out? Carlos Ocampo, like 5-6 years ago.
This is that. Like my point. My point is that we all got told that. We all got told that Spence was the one with the power, even though Bud has shown us over the last 11 fights now, he's the one with the power. Yep. You know what I mean? But these guys wanted to ignore all of that and use different narratives, saying that he was knocking over bums, he was knocking over people who was more or less retired, who were past it, who wasn't at world level. Now he just had his easiest fight against the big fish. Now they want to give him his props. He should have already had his props before. Because this fight never even showed half any bit of his talent, not even half of his talent. I don't believe. He didn't have to get out of Pig 2.
Do you think that if that fight with Pacquiao happened, he would have got exposed then, or you think he would still found a way to beat Pacquiao? because he was older.
Who's this? Who's this? Errol Spence,
Spence.
yeah?
Yes.
I think Spence would have got past Pacquiao. I think Pacquiao was too old.
Yeah,
I
me
think
too.
Spence would have got past him.
I think Spence would have beat him. Yeah.
Let me ask you another question. The Pacquiao that beat Thurman, do you think that Pacquiao would have beat Spence?
Yeah.
Quite possibly, yeah. Because I still want to see the Thurman Earls fight because Earl became #1 because
1 second, we got a call. Oh, let me call. Hang on 1 second, caller. Let's get them on. What up, caller? Atlanta. Who this?
Yo, what's good, people?
What's up? Talk to me.
It's Giovanni Mazik.
What's your name?
Giovanni Mazik, how you feeling?
What's your name, sir?
Giovanni.
Oh, Giovanni. And you're calling from Atlanta, right? That's what it says on my phone.
Yeah, ATL.
ATL. What up, Giovanni? Talk to us.
Man, I just want to talk about the fight, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, Bud looked greater than he was supposed to look. But if you really pay attention to the fight, you can see that it's obvious that Smith had some type of damage, man. He wasn't the same. He wasn't moving right. Whenever he would move to the left or right, he would be off balance. He could only move front and back. Derrick James was telling him that, hey, you get out the line, get off the line, get off the line.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't listen. He was on autopilot. And that's how I could tell Smith waited too long to fight Bud. And after the crash was actually another plus, the reason why it wasn't a good time for him to fight. I don't think he should get back in the ring again.
Yeah, you don't want the rematch. No.
And that's...
Well,
Giovanni, who are you picking to win? Who'd you have winning the fight?
He was picking Spence.
But who was you picking to win previously?
I had Spence winning the fight.
I knew it.
Of course.
I knew it.
Like this, right?
But hang on, Giovanni. So this is what I've got to say is 1 second. I promise I'll give you the floor. So you had Spence picking to win the fight. So you knew all of this stuff before. You knew about the car crash before. You knew about him drinking before. You knew about all of this before. But you still had him winning the fight. So now that he hasn't won the fight, now all of a sudden, you know, these things are a factor. So do you see what I'm saying? It's like you stand for something or fall, stand for nothing or fall for everything. Like stand for something or fall for everything. Like which one is it? You can't pick that. It was okay that, you know, he was in a car crash and now all of a sudden because he's lost, that's a factor.
And I bet he picked
I'm
Spence to watch Crawford.
I've been boxing for like 12 years and I've been, you know, watching and studying Errol Spence. I actually met him a few times. Mm-hmm. I've been studying and watching him since before amateur and pros, you know what I'm saying? Like even before the Olympics. And all from the time up to Porter, up until the Ugas fight, he was different. I feel like he was a little bit on point with the Ugas fight, but after that, when it came to fighting Bud, he was off like 16 months. And look, I'm not saying no excuse or nothing. Crawford won. He won. Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. Right?
But it wasn't the best Spence.
Bud. You know what I'm saying?
So why did you pick
the thing
Spence
about it is like this, right?
Yeah, go ahead. Let him speak. Go ahead. Yes. Go ahead, sir.
Well, I mean, I've been a Spence fan since the beginning. You know what I'm saying? This is not no, like, die hard, like, you know, this and that. No, I'm a boxing fan today. So, you know, I get respect to Bud. But at the same time, Bud knew, Derrick James knew that, like, Spence is not the same anymore. You know what I'm saying? He's not. He got some type of, like, damage as far as, like, from the neck up. But, I mean...
sorry, and interject, guys. This is where this is not going to fare well, I'm afraid, Giovanni.
LadyChann, you need to get that clip.
To the fight and you see the...
Listen.
Look, if you pay attention to the fight and you see where the doctor had came in the ring, you can see something was wrong.
Like, we don't
you know what
care,
I'm saying? Like,
is our point, what we're trying to make. We don't care what's wrong with him. We don't care.
It was a money grab. I'm saying it was a money grab.
No.
It was a money grab.
Let me just speak.
Giovanni, you're saying that you knew Spence knew he was gonna lose.
Hang on, let me just speak, please, to the caller, and then the caller can speak to you guys. So you've listed that the car crash was, you know, something. Plus, he was out the ring for 16 months. You said he looked funny a little bit with Ugas. Okay, so with all those three factors, and you say you boxing and that you've boxed for 4 years, why was Spence your pick to win against the
12 years. 12 years.
arguably against the number one pound? So what we're saying is we don't care about any of these reasons, excuses. He didn't even have to have the car crash. Bud would have beat him. He didn't. He could have fought the week before and not even got a scratch or a scrape or a cut and demolished the guy in one round. Bud would have still beat him. Ugas didn't have to fly out his teeth in his mouth shields, and it could have been him deleting Ugas. Bud would have still beat him. So my point is that we don't care about these excuses. If it sounds lame, put your big boy pants on, pull up your socks, and give Bud, the all-time great Hall of Famer, 2-division, fucking undisputed champ, his credit in the Buddhism. Errol Spence is just with that skill set, if you know boxing, because you said you do. You said you do, so I have to just take your word. I'm dwindling on taking your word though, because it's not making sense. If you know boxing, a pressure fighter that doesn't adjust against someone that is pound for pound, fucking that's a boxer puncher, can do everything that Spence does, but better. Nobody's man down for 6 years, and you've still picked Spence. So what I'm saying is, sir, you're just going to have to stay with Spence. We don't care about excuses over here. We don't do fanboying over here. If it was Bud Crawford with excuses and he'd lost, you guys would have been doing a fucking parade, you know, from Atlanta, Georgia, all the way probably even to the fucking
No,
UK.
what I'm saying is, it's no way that Spence could have won with nerves.
So why you picked him? Why did you pick him? Why did you pick him?
Win. Why did you pick him to win?
Because I bet you picked him with him as well.
Why did you pick him to win?
I never. All right, I've always been a fan of Spence, so I'm gonna watch the fight, of course.
It don't matter if I'm a fan of someone. I can still pick them to lose a fight.
Listen, hold on. Let me talk. Let me answer the question. Can I answer the question?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Now, me personally me outside looking into the fight, knowing my fighter, knowing my boxer, and I know how he moves, he would have gave Bud more of a dog if he would have fought him right at a quarter. You know what I'm saying? He would have gave more of a dog fight. And I'm not saying that he would have won by decision. If Crawford won by decision, cool. I'm a boxers fan. It would have been a great fight.
No.
I just feel like
no, you're lame. Sorry.
Nobody.
Yeah, but you lot didn't. You lot didn't.
Excuse
me.
me.
I'm gonna be real.
No, you're not being real. You're not being real.
I feel like Spence made it worse by him drinking.
That's his business.
As well.
That's his business, because you guys said he's beaten.
LadyChann.
I tell you what.
You said you guys came on my panel 2 weeks ago saying he's stopped drinking. He's learnt his lesson. He doesn't drink anymore.
I wasn't on your panel.
I said you guys. I didn't say you specifically. You guys came on and said he's stopped drinking. So if he hadn't stopped drinking, because you said you wasn't on my panel, and so you're not rocking with what those other guys have said, knowing that he was still drinking then, according to you, because you feel that that's what he was doing, you still picked him.
I'm just saying, how can people applaud what would have been such a classic fight, though?
He got
how can y'all applaud what we just seen?
Yeah, he got fucked.
Y'all don't have any type
right.
of like.
Listen. You Spence fans didn't want you didn't want the Crawford fight after the Porter fight, because as soon as he beat Porter, what did every Spence fan say? Bud needs to fight Porter. Bud needs to fight Porter. Bud needs to fight Porter. You lot are crazy, bro.
Man, look, I even said that Spence was the same when he fought Garcia. I said that amongst my friends that he wasn't the same when he fought Garcia.
If you would have came on and said, listed all these things.
I didn't pick anybody. I'm watching my fighter fight.
I don't care. He's not your fighter. He's not your fighter. You've met him once. He's not your fighter. If you are a boxer like you said you are supposed to. You could have said, I'm rooting for Spence, but skill for skill, I think maybe Bud may get it, but because of X, Y, and Z, right? Because he's drinking, is that you still went with your chest and picked him to beat Bud. And now that you're in and ahhing, now that you're fighter, I'm giving it
Man,
back to
I
you.
didn't pick
Can
him.
I just say this, yeah?
I
Can I make a point?
He got
Can I make
washed.
a point to
I
Giovanni?
knew this was
Giovanni.
losing. He was off.
Sorry. Let me just say this quickly, yeah? Right? When Wilder lost, costume, egg weights, glove tampering, Breland was against him, the referee was against him.
And so was Varda.
Stephen Fulton before the fight. Double stacking the hand wraps, PEDs.
Yeah.
Da.
This is what you got to do. Yeah.
Premature stoppage.
No,
Stephen come from the car crash. This and that, and that. You guys never give the opponent credit. Like, okay,
Never.
I support AJ. I give
No,
you
this should never been
all the time. All the time I give you the credit, right? You guys never give the opponent the credit. You always have some excuse. It's horrible, man.
This is not an excuse. I said,
take the L. Why do you just take the L? Take the L. Take the L.
I wanted more of a dog fight.
No, he got fucking washed. He got washed. If you come in and not made any bit of sense, you said he had neurological damage. All of a sudden, you've been entitled to his fucking medical records like you're his fucking doctor. So if you was
Shan, let me say something quick.
You was that privy to all of these things. You still picked him to win.
No,
so
I actually graduated
you
from Emory
take
University.
it, you eat your crow, and that's it. We don't care. He got washed. He got beat. If you don't accept it, that's up to you. He got washed. He got beat. And if he moves up to 154, he will get washed. And it's fans like you that don't really care about your fighter. Because if you really cared about your fighter, guess what? You wouldn't want him to fight that beast, that killer again. You wouldn't want him, because guess what? With all his neurological damage, with you lot forcing him to do these fights because he wants to please you guys, guess what? With his neurological damage, he goes back. With neurological damage, brain damage, guess what? You go back to your bed and sleep comfortably.
I say he should have never got back in the ring after he fought Danny Garcia.
Ain't shit. You niggas ain't shit. That's what
you're lying. You said after the Danny Garcia fight, where he washed Danny Garcia, it was an easy fight. You said he shouldn't have got in the ring. Get the hell out of here. You never said that shit. No way.
Let me land.
He wasn't the same that fought Kale Brooks.
Well, you picked
he
him
wasn't
to
the
win.
same
You picked him
that
to
fought
win.
Kale Brooks.
You picked him to
I
win.
didn't pick him to win. I didn't pick him. Amongst my friends, I told him, I said, yo, Spence is off.
And you're a
He's not the same as he used to be.
You're a hater and you're a sore loser.
How?
And you should feel embarrassed that you've even
presented
yourself like this, because you thought you could
never
come
heard
out
of
here
PVC.
and present yourself like this without getting
I've never heard of PVC.
Get the fuck out of here, man. Get my knife.
I'm saying something that y'all not seeing.
Don't come round here and tell us about we're not paying attention. We know boxing.
I've never heard of PVC fan taking L and giving the opponent credit. Never.
He got beat. Go ahead, Vince.
I've never heard of PVC
rattling
fan.
like that. Please mute your mic. I beg.
I've never heard a PVC fan take the L when their fighter loses and give the other fighter credit. I've never seen it. Never. Anyone who supports the PVC has an immediate bias. And I'm not even saying, oh, there's a few exceptions, because I haven't seen them. Their fighters can't lose. Unless someone cheats, their fighters can't lose. Unless somebody's cheating or there's an excuse, their fighters can't lose.
It's only like 25%.
We don't care if he weren't 100%. Maybe Bud wasn't 100%. Hardly any fighters go in the ring 100%. We don't care. He lost.
Bud wasn't even 25% in that fight.
Lost. That's it.
Bud wasn't even 25%.
I'm just saying.
And he lost.
I'm just saying.
You can't
I'm just saying what I've seen. That's all I'm
you
saying,
just make no sense. You don't know boxing.
You're saying what you want to see.
Yeah, you don't know boxing. Thank you for
calling in,
Giovanni.
But look though,
Giovanni, we ain't
when
got time
Derek
for this.
James was saying get off the line, Vince kept standing in front of Bud though.
Yeah,
Vince was standing in front of Bud. He couldn't move. Look, when you have neurological damage, you can't move lateral. You can't move lateral. You can't move lateral. You only move front and back.
Wait, 1 second. Did my man say he box? Did my man say he's a boxer?
Yeah,
did my man say he's a boxer?
You're not a boxer. He can't be. He can't be.
Let me tell you something.
Shit.
Is he gone? Is he still there?
He's here. Go ahead.
A big man. Yo, big man.
Spence being my favorite boxer, I'm able
Wait,
to
big
know
man. Let me land.
how he moves now.
Yo. Let me land.
We need to
big
wrap
man.
you up. You're making my credit score even drop.
Big man, let me land. How was you expecting Crawford? No, how was you expecting Spence to beat Crawford? Obviously, you're a boxer, right? So give me a breakdown how you was expecting him to beat Crawford, just so I know you're understanding the boxing.
All right, so I'm understanding this, right?
And hurry up, because we ain't got all day for you lot. Hurry up. My patience is very, very small and little. Hurry up, please. Come on.
Come on, big man. Tell me how Spence was going to beat Crawford.
Since like.
Yeah, we don't care. Listen, I don't want to hear his wrap up. He doesn't know how to wrap up. Now he's going to say
I'm trying to talk.
He's fought two southpaws.
Nah, hell no, I'm not about to say that. Can you listen?
I don't want to hear you, bruv. I don't want to hear you.
Can you listen?
I haven't got time. You're gonna.
Can you listen?
Nah, my credit
all
score.
Right.
My credit
like
score is dropping.
We all understand that Spence haven't fought a left-hand fighter since like 2017 or whatever. He fought two of them. Okay, cool. But I was expecting for this fight to be more of a dog fight. More of a dog fight. Whether Spence won or lost. Whether if Bud won by unanimous decision, but at the same time, from my lens of knowing the fighter that I know from when he fought Kell Brooks and Porter, he's not the same.
No,
he's not moving right.
Okay.
So how did you plan him winning?
So I could tell you this right now. You expect it to be a dogfight, yeah? You expect it to be a dogfight. Do you want me to tell you when I know? Listen, bro. Let me land. Do you want me to tell you? Do you want me to tell you? Yeah, when Spence lost his fight. When Spence tried to muscle Crawford and he got pushed off, he got
pushed to the ropes.
Pushed off. He got pushed off.
No power.
Chan, what did I say? What did I say? I said, listen, they're gonna be so shocked when they find out how strong Crawford is.
Who does it?
He does wrestling.
They banked on him being too light.
I box myself, yeah. And like I said, even if I'm dealing with heavyweights or whatever, I know, like, especially when you're dealing with some guys where you think they really ain't that strong. It changed your game plans, that ride. Like, especially when you're a bully, like Spence is. That from that moment there, he lost the fight way before the knockdown. Because you know why? What did you hear? What was the preparation from brother? Let me land. Brother, let me land. What was the preparation?
I didn't pick him to win. I just watched him fight. I knew he shouldn't have been in the ring.
Okay, so you
said you picked him. You said you picked him.
You said you picked him to win.
You said it was a cash grab. Did you just say it was a cash grab? Not the longer you said it was a cash grab.
Yeah, it was a cash grab for Spence and his team and Terence Crawford. That's what I'm saying.
Gio, you keep switching, man. Hey, listen. You said you thought it was going to be a dogfight. Explain the dogfight. Please tell us how you thought he was going to win. What does the dogfight mean?
There's no excuses, but you're coming with excuses.
Let me talk about explaining.
No, you're taking too long. I don't know if it's an ATL connection. We're in London, England. We move fast. Hurry up. Hurry up.
All right, so this is what I'm saying, right? The way Spence, I don't know the outcome would have been, but if this fight would have been right after the Porter fight.
No, please, no, I don't care about that. Tell me how you thought he was going to win. I don't care about Porter.
Get him off. I ain't got time for it.
We're going in circles. We're going in circles. This guy has excuse after excuse after excuse. Now Spence wasn't right.
Yeah.
You know what?
I see other channels have a lot more patience and tolerance. I asked God to bestow that on me. It hasn't landed yet. I'm sorry. I just can't take this bullshit. I just don't do it.
It's crazy how these guys just can't take an L. Like your guy wasn't what you thought he was. It's as simple as that. He wasn't as he thought he was, and Bud was everything you thought he wasn't.
And it's
that simple.
That makes me not want to go back to giving Spence grace. That's why what I mean. Because they wouldn't have done that for Bud if he would have lost.
Hell no. Yeah, they'd have been honoured.
You lost brain cells listening to that. Credit scores dropped. Everything. Like, there's no point. Yeah, we don't want to hear you.
See, what it is, you can be a fan of a fighter, but you got to study the sport. You got to know the sport, right? Like when Pacquiao was fighting Mayweather, I done a breakdown, and I looked at the fight objectively. I know their careers, and I told them that if Floyd boxes the fight he wants to fight, it's not going to be that competitive. I had people calling me racist and unsubbing the channel. And then when the fight happened, I told you he's going to be Listen, if Floyd's got arm reach on you and he decides to box, you have to knock him out with one shot because you're not going to outbox him. If he's got longer arms than you and you're not going to outbox him. You're not. And they couldn't.
The problem is
right.
These people can't.
Let me just finish my point, and then you can get it.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford can switch hit. There's not a punch that God has ever made that he can't throw. If the opportunity's there, he'll land it. Not many fighters can do that. He'll land it. You can't beat, unless you knock him out with one shot, you can't beat him. You can't beat him. He's just too good. He's too good. At this moment, listen, they're talking about Boots. Boots is a good fighter, but Boots will get bust up. Unless he gets him out of there early, once Terence works him out, he'll get beat up. He will get beaten up systematically.
The problem is it just goes to the next guy, No matter what happens now, all these Spence fans will jump onto someone else. Next, it'll be Boots. And unless he fights Boots, they're going to say the same thing all over again about Crawford. Oh, he's scared of Boots. He doesn't want to fight Boots. He'll get beat by Boots. Boots will do this to him. These fans, they pick with their heart. They just want. They pick with will. They're willing for this guy to lose so much, or whether even when it was Mayweather, they were willing on this guy to lose so much. That's why they picked. They didn't look at boxing. They didn't look at the skill sets. They didn't look at the matchups at all. They just wanted this one guy to lose, so they picked the other guy. That's it.
And let me just say this, right? Where did Giovanni get this degree in neurology? Where did he get that?
Because he met him once. He thinks he knows Spence now. Spence is his brethren.
The fact he said the doctor had to come in to look at Spence. Yeah, that's because Spence was getting punched in his face. What do you mean the doctor had to come and look? Of course they did. And even the doctors was worried after 3 rounds. After 3 rounds, the doctor was worried. And you know what?
Listen, if he's got neurological issues, right? If he's got if he's got neurological issues, right? They pay for brain scans. So how's he getting through these brain scans if he's got all these neurological issues?
Brother.
Come on, man, stop it, Giovanni. Stop it.
Nah, listen. It's just that it's mad, isn't it? Because remember, Shannon, obviously, because I come like on your channel last week, Last week I heard about that Errol Spence made Joshua stop sparring. Now I'm hearing this. Brother, this is mad. And these are grown men, grown men.
Oh, man. Yeah, this is what they do. Lanes.
Mate, listen, I'm a boxing fan. Stop being a fan of man, because like I said, that's look, listen, all right, prime example. Next weekend, we got Dylan White and Joshua. Dylan's my guy. South of the river, you know who I'm backing. But I gotta keep it 100. Yeah. I don't see Dylan winning this. Do you get what I'm saying?
They don't know how to do that in America. In America, they don't know how to do that.
They're so separated.
And in the UK too. There's bias in the UK.
Hell yeah, there's certain fans.
Nah, but not like this. Not like what.
Not like that.
Not
like that. No.
Like that, Beats. No, not like that.
There's bias in the UK.
Are you going off Dillian leaving because of his last fight, Joshua last fight?
Screaming that Kell Brook was going to beat Errol Spence. I said he's not going to beat him, man. I'm not going to beat him.
Yeah.
And like even then, I had issues on my channel with the Kell Brook fans.
Yeah. There's fanboys everywhere. But these lads do it just.
These are extreme.
They're extreme. They're fucking extreme. And I rate him for his bravery, even trying to come in with that 15-minute drizzle. I couldn't go a minute longer. I'm sorry. But he's going to make a good highlight. If any content creators are on this show, Beats, feel free to use it in any of your snippets.
Ricky Hatton was another one.
I'll be using this call as a snippet.
Ricky Hatton's going to highlight, mate. Ricky Hatton's going to beat Mayweather, and come on, man! Like, British fans are
the amount of people that told me that, and I just laughed.
Everyone's got bias.
Yeah, but
maybe because it's obviously when the internet era now, isn't it? Maybe because
I deal with types of people all the time, like, and so is Beats. But I've dealt with these lots of my audience are American, so I see it all day, every day, and twice on a fucking Sunday. I've had enough of it. I've had enough. Yeah, give the man his props, give him his respect. You wanted it to be a different outcome. All he was talking about, it shoulda, it coulda, it woulda, but it didn't. It didn't happen. He got beat, and that's it. If you want that fighter to go in and get beat again, you do not care about my fighter. My fighter. You're a doctor, you're a neurologist, you're everything. You're a trainer. You was in his camp. You had to have been with everything that you're saying, and you still picked him. You came in here and said the car crash, the neurology, the Ugas fight, but you still picked Spence. And now that he's lost, these are all your fucking in-house excuses, which we knew you was going to come with. We're ready. We're cocked and fully loaded round here. Yeah, you lot's got your AR-15. So have we tonight. Okay.
By the way, Chan, you know what killed me is when he said, the guy came on and said, "I'm not making any
excuses." Errol ain't even saying nothing, but you lot are all there with his fucking cheerleaders, pom-poms. Yeah,
they got his doctor's note. They got everything.
Your little
they had his doctor's note before he even went to the hospital.
Simping for man. You lot are rainbow brothers. Get out of here. Rainbow boys, you little fairies. Yeah, coming down from the deep south where you've gone through adversity, but yet you're the softest motherfuckers in the building. Fucking week. Kenny Ken, do you want to say your final goodbyes? Where they can find you, Kenny Ken? Just Kenny Ken has to. He has to leave.
Hey, I just want to say that it's been a great debate. The fight exceeded our expectations in terms of the ease in which Crawford won. But let's face it, man. I don't think I need to take stock of the brutality that I saw in the calculation and just think, you know what? Sometimes generational fighters, man, they just can't be beaten, mate. But one thing I like about, what I like about Crawford? He's a generational fighter who fights everyone that's available. And that when you're a fan of Crawford, you say he's the best out there. He's actually the best out there because he doesn't prove it. I'm a Tyson Fury. I like Tyson Fury, but some of the Tyson Fury fans, they call him this generational fighter and he's this and that. But as Eddie Hearn says, he's only fought two. He's only got two big wins. He needs to clean up the division, mate. And that's what people like Errol Spence Jr. Sorry, not Errol Spence. Terence Crawford examples all boxing fans and all boxers out there, mate. If you at the end of the day, fighters want to see the fighters fight the best. I want to see you clean up the division, mate. When you can't call yourself the best out there if you don't fight all the fighters. He does that. That's why I'm always going to give this guy props, man. Doesn't matter. Some people won't give him respect. I'll give him respect from day one because I knew what he could do, man. But even so, I didn't think that he was going to do this sort of savagery on Spence Jr., man. I thought that he would, take him out of the show, but there was no mercy. But then again, that's what happens. Some puts the opportunity your way. Can't show mercy. Boxers can't afford to show mercy. When a guy's there to be knocked out, you knock him out, mate. You put your hand on. You put your throat, mate. You put the foot in the throat. That's what we saw. Foot in the throat boxing. Go around the throat. Don't let him breathe. Extinguish him.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Kenny Ken. And where can they find you as well?
They can find me at Kenny Ken 1972 on Instagram and on Twitter. But let's go on Instagram because there's more fun on Instagram because people on Twitter just pump us asses.
Yeah, I got all the highlight reels on my Instagram. They hate it. they just be getting blocked.
Twitter's just full of no do-gooders, man, who just want to kiss ass to boxers and kiss ass to footballers, man, so they can get their likes and things. They don't have no boxing or footballing intelligence.
Yeah. Shouts out, Kenny Ken. Thank you for coming through.
See you guys. See you guys soon.
Take care. Love you. See ya.
Cheers, Chris.
Go ahead, guys. The floor is yours.
And Chris has to go, doesn't it?
Yeah, I got to go.
One, fight.
Coming through. If you got any last words that you want to...
I just want to say, if you guys have a chance to go to a big fight, I suggest you guys do it. It was a great experience. Before this fight, the fight I went to was I seen Canelo versus what's the guy name that he broke his eye socket from England? Billy
Joe.
Billy Joe Saunders.
I went to that. The fight was great. As far as right now, looking at the schedule, there's nothing I really want to see. Unless I hit the lottery, I guess I'll go to Saudi Arabia because I would love to see the Wilder Joshua fight, but I don't think I'm gonna have the money for that. That's way out of my budget.
Yeah. Well, at least you went to one mega fight. You know where you was when this historic moment took place. And shouts out to you for being a great fight fan. You know?
And my thing on the rematch, if there is a rematch, I think Spence is just trying to get his last payout because we all know he's never going to get paid like this again. There's no logical reason for him to put himself through this besides to just get paid.
Yep.
Well, even danger-wise, I think he only I don't think he has any fights left. Really, he's damaged goods right now. He doesn't look. That beating was way too brutal. It was even the last 2 rounds was he shouldn't have been in there. So it just prolonged how much damage he's took. So for me, him going up to 154, even how he looked in that fight, there's only one fight he can really take, and that's the cash out fight.
Let me ask you this question: if he move up and let's say whatever happened with Bud, let's take Bud out the equation. I think since Jamel's fighting Canelo, I don't think Jamel's going to win. Would you think they'll try to force him or Crawford to fight Tim? And do you think he could beat Tim at least?
I think they'll force him to fight Tim Tszyu. Earl might fight Tim Tszyu, but he'll get beat by Tim Tszyu.
He'll get beat as well.
He'll get beat by Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu is way too active of a fighter for Earl to come off of that loss and go straight into a Tim Tszyu fight. Tim Tszyu will demolish him.
Yeah.
I think if he takes the Crawford rematch, I agree. It's just the cash out, and he's going to retire. He's going to retire after that.
Probably. Yeah, he either retires now or he retires after the rematch.
Take them fucking fans with him. I can't wait till he goes now. Fuck off. Yeah.
But, all right, thank you for giving me the floor. All right, guys, enjoy your day.
I'll see you soon. Thank you for joining me on the panel.
Out,
Thank you very much.
Bless, man.
Chris has left the booties in. You can't come over and test your mic.
Test your might. Test your luck.
Your wife and son, they are lost to me now. The same pain sears both our hearts.
Brutality. Flawless victory.
Spence should have had this car. At least it would have saved him.
Chair, where's that other clip? You got that other one?
No, I've got. This is when they're loyal to a cause, and then the cause just disrespects them back.
Oh. I feel sorry for you, Prime. Your allegiance to these humans. The trouble with loyalty to a cause is that the cause will always betray you.
Kaboom.
You need to get that clip of Bud telling Spence, when I stop you, they're going to say you was too weak and you're too. Every time a Spence fan makes an excuse, just play that clip.
Yeah,
that's all you need to do.
Load that one up for real. Even his girlfriend was all disappointed. You know who his girlfriend is, don't you? We all know who's.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He was mad.
Right?
Yeah, he was mad.
He was too.
Bro, what's wrong with this nigga, bro?
He said his girlfriend.
Nigga gay now.
My brother, man. Hey, it's serious. Look, hey, yo, getting jealous. She said, don't kiss him.
My brother.
That's why you lost.
Yeah,
What is that?
He done lost 25k to Shakur.
Yeah, you got your brothers then. That's why you lost the fight.
Nah.
By the way, Yellow Beezy betted 25 grand against with Shakur Stevenson. And Shakur, you won your money back plus some.
Nah.
Oh, he bet. Oh, he bet. He bet Yellow Busy 25K.
Yeah, 25K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on camera as well.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do you think? Why do you think that Spence cancelled that bet with Bud? He's like, oh, I had to give up too much in negotiations, so we're not doing that bet anymore. Let's bet
Oh
a
yeah. Oh, he
million.
can't. He canceled that.
Yeah, they cancelled it because
Wow.
because Spence said he gave up so much in the negotiations. They're no longer betting doing that bet.
What the hell did he give up? What do you?
Hated it.
Oh, he had to have a coin toss. It's Spence Crawford. I'm the
Oh
A
wow.
side.
Who
Shut
cares?
up.
So what, man?
You lost, and you lost.
You could have came out second. He would have lost.
Is anybody else brave enough to call? US callers, you can call in 917-410-8091. UK 079395300676. We're in the fucking booties.
At the weigh-in, he was still crying. After the weigh-in, he was still crying about saying he had to. I have to take a coin toss. I'm just like, bro, just let it go. You signed the contract. You've done everything. We know. Just fight. No, you still want to brag about how much you gave up to make this fight happen. This fight happened because of me. All right.
He said the fight happened because of him. What a liar. What a fucking liar. Yeah.
Well, we know who was ducking for years if it happened because of you. If it was that easy for you to make it now, you could have done this 5 years ago.
That's what I say. If a fight happens only when two fighters want to fight. He never wanted to fight. He had to be dragged, kicking and screaming.
And nobody gave him flack for it.
Yeah.
No one gave him flack
It would have been cheaper too, because if they had done the fight when Bud was still with Top Rank, they probably would have just split the cost.
Yeah, well, yeah, wrong side of the street. As Crawford said, he owned the block.
But they wanted to. They wanted to use that excuse. So
Crawford told him he owns the block. So it don't matter what side you're on, it's his.
Yeah. Beats, you want to chime in? It's a free-for-all. Go ahead. Just give them the rundown of what fighters have failed when they've taken chances happen. I'm sure you know the history of certain fighters when they started to live not clean. We saw their downfall.
Oh man, like you can go back to Aaron Pryor. You can go to Hector Camacho. Like so many, man, so many have just ruined their life. And like Benny Lynch from Scotland, he was a really good flyweight champion. Like the alcohol just destroyed him. He came into the ring drunk. It was horrible, man.
Ricky Hatton, did you say?
Hatton, yeah. Ricky Hatton destroyed his career.
Mm-hmm. Mike Tyson.
It's another one.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
the list goes on. Pernell Whitaker. Yeah, the list goes on. The list fucking goes on. These cats are. I just don't have the time for it. Like, I really don't have the time for it. Like, I don't think anybody else will call in because they just know it's desecration round here, love. Yeah, they thought, oh, look at this British bitch. Got her out. Just come and talk.
Like, I've never understood, like the PBC fans just never give credit to fighters outside of their
stable.
Their stable. Just never.
It's pathetic. It's pathetic. I've just never seen a set of men that are just.
Yeah.
Have you seen
one of them saying, "Oh, I'm not going to put in my pound for pound top 10."
Yeah.
And you're thinking, why? Well, because he's Japanese. Like,
because he's Japanese.
It's pathetic now, man.
Yeah, pathetic. Anyway, has
have
to
you
go
seen?
Joshua? He's accepted.
Have you seen Errol Spence's Instagram post?
No.
What do you say?
It says, "I was brought up in an old law where men don't make excuses. Even if I had one, I wouldn't give you it."
Yeah, so that means you had an excuse. We've got another caller in. Caller number 2. Who are you? Who are you?
It's Daniel in Houston.
What up, Daniel?
Round 1, fight.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yep, that's what they do.
Typical heterosexual response. he got beat from pillar to post, and they're looking for the excuses. But I'm surprised I have not heard the accident being brought up as much. But someone that on Blood's podcast, someone said that he didn't look right and that the man drugged him. I was like, give me a break. You're taking the Wilder route 2.0. But got your ass whooped. Deal with it.
Yeah, man, it's pathetic. Like when Wilder lost, I saw one of them making videos. I'm gonna come out there and spray all these people down, making fun of Wilder. I said, you kind of pathetic, man. Like I can't take you serious.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What kind of madness is that?
Crazy. It's just the fight.
I mean, well, when Wilder came out, speaking on that, it didn't surprise me because at this point, what nothing Wilder does really surprises me because, like, I'm like, okay, well, he made it probably like, I count maybe 100 excuses he made for himself. So it's obvious he would try to do that for somebody in his own stable. Like,
I just don't like when they
if he
say
gets knocked
shit.
out, if he gets knocked out by Joshua in December, I wouldn't be surprised if he's just, oh yeah, I wouldn't be the same shit's probably gonna start again. So at this point, it doesn't surprise me.
I mean, they're so guarded. They're so guarded. You know what? You know, we see with Wilder, I want someone to bring up that Howard Scotty and just record it and just upload it. You know what I mean? Like that.
God, I wish I could find that, man. I wish I could find that.
Nobody has it. I mean,
it's gone. It's gone.
Like, remember his brother got knocked out and they took it down. They took the video down.
Yep.
And then he got knocked out a second time.
The second time again, they just left it. It's like, all right, let's just leave it. There's no point.
Pathetic, man.
Yeah, his brother. This dude ain't it. Let's just leave it on. It don't even matter. Like
their fighters are none of them are invincible. Why did they like? Okay, if they was at Terence Crawford ability, you'll understand why they're so guarded. But they're beatable guys. They're beatable. I'm not saying they're the worst fighters. They're beatable.
It's crazy that these fans are so obsessed with the fight they believe that they could never be beat. It's a boxing match. Stop. Yeah. It's just as hard as you're training. The next guy is training. He might just be a little bit better than you. He might just be a lot better than you. But it happens. No one's saying for Earl Spence fans to throw him in the bin or anything, but the way you lot was talking, like this guy was going to demolish Crawford, and then when what happened, you're coming out saying, oh, he was weight drained, he didn't look right, he has brain injury or whatever, like the car crash, like you knew all this stuff before you picked him to win, and you still picked him to win. So it didn't matter then, it doesn't matter now.
Yeah, so now that he lost, like don't use that. You don't use that as an excuse.
Yeah, because they didn't care about it before. That didn't factor in the decision. In your decision, you knew he had a car crash. You knew apparently he didn't look well against Ugas. You knew what Bud had been doing, and you still picked him to win. Now you want to use all of a sudden these excuses are the reasons he lost. Well, if that's what you think, you should have said first, I don't believe Spencer's going to win this fight because of the car crash, because of how he looked at Ugas. Look how good Crawford's been in his last fight. In his last fights, he's knocking people out. I don't think Earl Spence could beat him. I want Earl Spence to win, but I don't think he can do it. I respect that.
Or you should have just picked Bud. Simple as that.
Listen, I have no problem with people wanting a certain fighter to win.
Me
either. And them not believing they can win, but wanting them to win, fair enough. I do it quite a lot. I want certain fighters to win. They lose. It's unfortunate, but I'm not going to cry and make an excuse why they lost. They lost because they got into that ring that day and they wasn't as good as the other guy.
Look, it was just Judgment Day. You swerved the fight for as long as you could, and it was Judgment Day.
That's what makes it worse, Beats. That's what makes it worse for him, because had he fought Spence 5 years ago, this wouldn't have even been you washed and be like, Spence can come again. He might be able to beat a Sean Porter or a Keith Thurman. He probably can beat these guys. But 5 years later, and then you perform like that, now we've got questions like, where are you at now?
He is down from here.
Yeah, I got another question. Where's Crawford on like the all-time great status?
Well, that's where you've got to talk about Crawford is all-time greats.
Yeah, as long as he's in that conversation, then
like
he's in the
people
conversation now, definitely.
Like people like Beats, Blood, and all, they know the boxing history, so they'll probably be the best gauge of where to place Bud in ATG status. To be fair,
well, you know, you got to look at it two ways. You've got like the multiple weight champions, you know what I mean, and you've got like the great welterweight champions. You got Leonard. You've got Felix Trinidad.
Hearns,
Napolis. You know, like you got
we
just
got
take your pick.
Duran.
Well, Duran didn't. He only made. He didn't make a defense, but he got a great win over Leonard at 147.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
He won titles at 154 and 160 as well, and 135.
I mean, so I mean, but these correct me if I'm wrong. Like Duran, he just lost. He just beat Sugar and lost it in a rematch, right? He was never champion for welterweight.
Not welterweight. He went up to 154 and beat Davey Moore.
Right. Okay.
And beat Iron Barkley.
Right. Okay. Then of course he was like the long reigning champion, 135 for like quite a bit.
For ages, for absolute ages.
Yeah. So Terence Bud Crawford is definitely an ATG. Just where will you put him on the table? Is he top 10 all-time great? Is he top 20? I don't know, because I'm not that vastly knowledgeable, and all I'd have to do research. I'd have to talk to Beats. We'd have to listen and see him. Probably we could do a show where we come up with a table, I guess. Top 10 all time, top 20. We need boxing historians to do that.
I think it's an easy answer if he cleaned out 154.
No, he doesn't. He's the first male in the 4-belt era to be 2-division undisputed. Like, he doesn't have to now clean out 154 to prove that. He's done everything that everybody else hasn't done in males.
He can honestly retire now if he wanted.
Yeah,
he was already hand was already casted for Hall of Fame. Of Fame already. So Spence going to the Hall of Fame, guys?
No.
Nope.
Yes. Why not?
I don't know. It's questionable. Is he first ballot? I don't know
about
that.
First ballot.
Well, I don't know. He might get in. People have gotten in for less, so he might get in.
How much free belts? How much defenses did he make?
Let me see.
Not as much as you think.
At what? You had Lamar Peterson.
He made 6 defenses.
See,
it's not that much. Maybe not Hall of Fame. Could be.
Yeah, he made 6.
Unified champ, 6. It's not that much.
6 ain't bad though. 6 ain't bad.
6 ain't bad, but it ain't stellar. It's not like all. It's you don't have to go into. Well, you never know what the criteria is, but I wouldn't first ballot him.
Yeah, Lisa, Kid Gavilan.
Me neither.
With the bolo punch, the Cuban. Yeah, nice one. Kid great fighter. You've got who's the onion farmer who beat Sugar Ray Robinson. Forgot his name now.
Who's that?
I forgot his name now.
Onion farmer.
Tough as anything, man. Forgot his name.
By the way, Chan, could I apologize right quick to you?
Why? What happened?
Oh no, I when I asked that caller earlier, who he picked, I had no idea it would lead to that whole.
No, I knew it was going there. I knew.
That's why I asked. That's why I asked. The way he was talking was like, okay, this guy picked Spence. That's why I asked.
His energy from the get-go told you that he picked Spence.
That's why I asked.
As soon as he started talking, you could tell the energy was Spence.
When he said he was from Atlanta, no disrespect. I knew, Southerners tend to stick with Southern fighters, so I just knew straight away. But I was hoping that he was going to say, the car crash and all of this, but I didn't pick him. But you listed all of the things. I baited him into it, and then he said, I picked him. So that's when I was like, desecration mode activated. Right?
Then he started backpedaling. I didn't pick him. He's just my friend.
Yeah, exactly. Because back when Triple G fought Canelo for the third time, the third fight, I wanted Triple G to win, but I didn't pick him.
Yeah.
So
matchup.
Same with me.
Someone, but and he said he knew boxing for 12 years. So, he boxed for 12 years. Well, clearly, I wonder what division he's probably a journeyman.
Not even that, man. Not even that.
Yeah.
But I mean, but Chan, if I could piggyback off of what you said about
go ahead, chop it
you
up.
said
Go ahead.
you know, probably about you said Bud fighting Jamel. I want to see that fight too more than anything, but I don't think that fight happens because I think once Mel
Jamel
gets his lights, once Mel gets his lights knocked out by Canelo, he's not going to go back to 154. I don't think.
Even if he does, Bud ain't gonna get credit for beating him.
Yeah. I
Bud ain't gonna get
I think he's gonna once he loses to Canelo probably by stoppage. By picking Canelo to knock him out. He's gonna. He's not going back to 150. He's going to ditch all the belts and just move up to 160 probably. Then I can see Bud fighting probably Tim for the WBO. That's what I see happening.
So basically, like Crawford's went over to the PBC, and he's kind of exposed their stranglehold on the 147 weight class for the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
He's already top boy.
I mean, it's funny because like
Daniel, is there one last thing that you want to say to wrap up the call? Because I forgot you're still on the line, Daniel.
Okay. Well, it was my niece's 11th birthday on the fight night, and
happy birthday
and she wanted to
to you.
watch the fight with me, and she said Crawford's the best fighter she's seen.
Shouts out to your niece. Birthday to her as well.
Happy birthday.
And still appreciate it.
Thank you for calling in, Daniel. Thank you very much.
All right, no problem.
Take it easy. Daniel's left the booties.
You see, that's what's supposed to be said. You pick the guy, you watch him get demolished, and now you're a believer in Crawford, and that's it. Nothing else needs to be said. Move on.
Yeah. It's, I don't know.
By the way, Chan, I saw that clip you posted on Charlemagne, and how he's salty too. I could tell.
Yeah, Charlemagne. Well, Charlemagne. Zone.
A lot of them, because Early's in that circle of celebrity wise, and Bud isn't really in that circle. Bud keeps himself to himself.
Yeah.
A lot of those are picking off of because the buddy with Spence. You know what I mean? He's in that circle. So yeah, they're hurting today. They're hurting. There was hurting Saturday night. I know that much.
But Charlemagne. Go ahead, Beat. Sorry.
You know what I like, Bud? After the game, he didn't go drinking champagne. He went to play golf. Say his wife is overweight in this, but he takes her everywhere he wants because he don't care. He's his own man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you know what? I rate that.
He's got one woman.
Guy's a family man. That's why they don't like him, because he ain't like them.
He's not a conformist.
Yeah, he's not a conformist. He ain't a get along gang guy. He just does his thing, keeps it a buck, and just keeps it moving.
Have you guys hot boxing with Crawford?
No,
I watched it the other day. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, Mike Tyson the whole time was saying, "You're gonna knock him out." Mike was like, "Nah." Every time they tried talking about Spence, it's like, "No, we're not talking about Spence. We're talking about Crawford."
He was picking Spence the whole way through. So I was like, Mike Tyson.
No, he's picking Crawford.
Mike Tyson can get it wrong.
No, Mike Tyson was picking Crawford. Mike Tyson picked Crawford.
Yeah.
Nah, he was picking Spence. Go look at when Spence came in for the hot boxing. He was like, "Yeah, you're from New York. I've got you." Mike was picking Spence.
Mike is flip flopping because he was picking Crawford all fight week. He was picking Crawford.
Go look at all his interviews that.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it, but I know.
Yeah, he's trying to appease Bud. That's why, if you notice, when Bud came in for that, when he came on stage rapping, and Mike Tyson went to shake his hand and that, you saw Bud not really too in on him, because Bud was like,
Mike's flip flopping because
smoke up.
He was on Bud.
Shouts out to Zone and 6. They're back in the booty scene. Go ahead, guys. Chop it up.
He was all about Bud on hot box.
Yeah.
Yeah, big up Zone 6 and Denise Woods and Lisa Bells. I mean, big up.
What's up, panel, man? Y'all talking some good stuff, man. Y'all talking some good stuff, man. Hey, Beats, if you put together an all-time ranking list, please let me know, because I had a good time ranking the heavyweights with you years back, and that's always good. So let me know, please. Hey, man, it's just, I mean, most of us called it. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that we was telling people, man. If you want me to believe, which I do, that Terence Crawford is pound for pound the best boxer in the world, paired with his lifestyle and dedication to the sport, that alone, if you were a casual fan, should have put you in a position to understand that you could have picked him over Spence after all the car wrecks and drinking.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. That just stands to
The,
reason.
the crazy thing is, a lot of casual fans were probably picking Bud because they knew Errol had been in a car crash. It's the hardcore fans of Errol Spence that had everything bad to say about Bud.
Look, because he didn't conform to their code of let's keep it real of so supposed brotherhood of blackness and stuff, they ostracized him, right?
Yep.
Because he wouldn't sign with Al, and them man, listen, I was watching one of the videos. Oh, we're not going to put Inoue in the pound for pound rankings, but if Stefan had won, you'd have been asking for him to be
yeah.
5. Let's just come on, man. Like, you can't do things like that, man. You expose yourself.
I mean, and plus, one thing that bothers me is like they're saying how Inoue has to now go up and fight Tank, apparently, or something like that. But Tank doesn't have to. Tank doesn't have to move up weight classes to fight anybody himself.
When it's a fighter, AJ, when it's a fighter they don't want to be winning, they will pit him against anyone and everyone they believe that can win.
I know, but they don't want Tank to do that because they want to protect them, of course.
Oh no, they don't want Tank to do that.
Yeah, because it's £13 for Inoue to challenge Tank, but it's £12 for Tank to fight the winner of he could fight Crawford then. That's his
right.
He
should be able to fight Crawford then. That's fine, right? So what's wrong with that?
He should. And let me say this: I'm a Tank fan, but I'm not the same as these other guys. Tank should be in the ring fighting, and Tank should be doing what he's supposed to do. There's no excuses. Tank is BSing around, and I'm disappointed in him. I'm a Tank fan, and I think he's the best at 135, but he got to get himself together, man. Like, you can't be talking about anyway coming up, and no, because then Tank got a lot to say about Crawford. And he's in the mix of the Errol Spence camp and all that, and he got a lot to say. He can go up and fight.
Yeah, he said he'd break Crawford's jaw.
But Zone, you know we always keep it real. Zone, you know we always keep it real, Zone. How is he number one at 135?
I like Tank stylistically at 135. He's not number one. Devin Haney is the number one based on
okay. So I was about to say you lost me there.
I'm happy with that now.
He Beast asked a good question for clarification because I'm glad he asked that because I didn't want to sound ridiculous. No, Devin Haney is number one, but when I say who do I have hands who I predict they can win is him. Just like with Crawford, Errol Spence was number one.
Man, Tank got talent. Tank got a lot of talent. But you can't go if you're going to go to 140 and there's an undisputed champion there, you've got to fight Josh Taylor. You can't go fight Barrios and then leave the division. That's crazy.
Well, this is what I was saying. There's similar things happening to Haney. No matter what he does, it's gonna be someone else. He's going up to fight Regis, and there's a complaint. Why he ain't fighting Shakur? Why he ain't fighting Tio? Why? Like, these guys are moving up. Tio moved up, and who did he fight? Ryan moved up. Who did he fight? Tank moved up. Who did he fight? Shakur moved up to 135. Who did he fight? Devin is going up to fight Regis at 140, and everyone wants to complain. Like, this guy should have been moved up 2 fights ago. Two fights ago, he should have been moved up.
Let me just say this. Shakur is a talent, but we're inflating his value in the market prematurely.
We are. Well, I'm not.
He still hasn't had. I mean, okay, Oscar Valdez. I mean, yeah, they're good names, but he still ain't. To me, at 135, he's got to put the punctuation on it, and I suppose that's coming.
Yeah, it is. But people seem to forget. People can't say that Devin Haney's ducking him for moving up because he's tight at the weight. When Shakur blew his weight at 130 in his last fight, he blew the weight. So
wait, did you say 135? 135?
That was 2 fights ago.
That was 130.
No. My point is, Shakur's last fight at 130, he blew the weight.
Oh yeah.
He blew the weight in the last fight. So he knows, out of all fighters, when you're drained at a weight, how hard it is to get down to that weight. And people are expecting him. And if Shakur is what everybody thinks he is, and I think he's a great talent, if he believes he's that great talent, why wouldn't you want to fight Devin Haney at his best You know full well this guy is going to be drained as hell when you're going to fight him.
I dispute what you're saying.
That's not his problem. That's not Shakur's problem.
It's not, but you can't then blame Devin Haney for moving up to fight for Regis at one point.
I blame Devin because Devin's not trying to vacate the belts. Don't hold the belt hostage and then leave. Let me have a chance to win the belt.
I can't argue. My only argument for that is
if I'm boxing, if I'm boxing for belts, right, and you're weight drained, and I generally listen, I'm gonna be licking my hand. Make sure I train even harder to take advantage.
But Beats, this is my point. Devin's smart. He ain't gonna be weight drained when he fights to Shakur. He's moving up. He's not ducking when you're moving up to fight another fighter at a higher division.
If that's the case, why is he keeping hold of the belt?
Yeah, I don't.
Here's what he said. He said he wants to keep hold of the belt, fight progress, and then he'll come back down.
I agree with you. He ain't coming back down. He ain't coming. Listen.
That's what he said.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. But he ain't coming back down. He wants to keep them belts for leverage.
If he beats Progress, he's gonna keep that belt at 140.
I like the move because you know people are going to self-satisfy. Okay, so let's just think about that. If he can keep the belts as long as possible, we all know that's what he's going to do. If he cannot fight, right? If he cannot fight and hold the belts as long as possible, that's what he's going to do. These guys, we know this by now, right? So I like Devin Haney. I can't say anything bad about him as of right now because Shakur did turn down the split.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, and that means he didn't want to fight. You can't just muscle around the undisputed champion. He earned it, and you got to put some respect on his name. So I thought the deal was fair. Shakur blew that opportunity. Tank's been in jail, beating on people, and doing stuff he has no business doing. That's on him. So I'm not going to put it on Haney to make sure that they clear everything up so that I can say, listen, you guys cleared everything up. Now I'll wait for you guys and offer you fights. No, he got to continue with his career, and I respect his moves.
My thing is,
you're right. You know,
my thing is, he had to do it
to make it easy for them. He's got no obligation.
No, because he had to do it the hard way. None of them made it easy for him. Loma didn't make it easy for him. Loma didn't want to fight him in the first place. Tio said out of his own mouth, if he had beaten George Strombosas, he was going to drop all them belts and move up to 140.
Yep.
He had no intentions of fighting Devin. So why should Devin make it easy for Shakur to just go win a belt? No. If the WBC is on the bullshit like they have been, they've let Canelo move up, they've let Katie Taylor move up, they've let Jamel Charlo now move up. They've been letting these fighters, that Tyson Fury's fighting a UFC fighter, they've been allowing these fighters to do this shit. So Devin Haney can get away with it because everybody else seems to be. Why should you be the nice guy in boxing and allowed to be run over? Nah, do what you need to do for your business.
The respect that people like. Listen, when it comes to Devin Haney, honestly, I don't get the disrespect. What this guy has gone through. Like I said, look, let's keep it 100. Yeah, I said this on another podcast today. Basically, when this whole franchise.
Oh, you was on Undisputed.
What's that?
Was you on Undisputed podcast?
Undisputed.
He asked me, "Was you?"
You mean undefeated?
Undefeated.
Sorry.
Yeah, undefeated.
Yeah, I was on before you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. You're the guy that had a back and forth with the other brother.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because literally, it's the same thing. Yeah. Where I said, but bro, the whole problem with this whole franchise nonsense. Yeah. Lomachenko had a mandatory, and that was Haney. Yeah. He then nominated himself to become a franchise champion. Right. It wasn't the WBC. I was told it was actually Lomachenko and his team. Yeah. From there, you go to go fight the Teofimo. Remember everyone busting jokes with Haney? Oh yeah, he's the emo champion. Blah 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 blah.
Yep.
He was getting ridiculed for that. Yeah. Cool. Anyway, obviously we all know what happened. Lopez beats Loma. Gambosas beats Gambosas beats. Yeah, you get the whole drift. Then he's now gone to Australia. Short end of the stick.
Listen, man.
Tied himself down.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, brother. Yeah, but we get the whole drift. Yeah. Now Haney's in the driving seat. Oh, he must do.
They don't like it.
He must do
that. They don't like it,
bro. like, bro, the thing is, I don't get the hate. I honestly don't get the hate.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine now if Devin Haney petitioned for a franchise? Can you imagine? Because that would be the full circle. He's doing the same shit what Loma did to him to Shakur. Everyone would be up in arms. No one was up in arms when they did it to Devin. He was an email champion. But if he was to do it to Shakur now, he's ducking. But Loma wasn't ducking, remember? It was business. It was business when Loma did it. Now, if Devin was to do it, it'd be, he's ducking Shakur. These fans are crazy. The guy is the only young guy who's doing it, who's been doing it properly, who's took the short end of the stick, who's backed himself. They don't like him because he didn't sign with Al Heyman and he refused to sign with Floyd when he turned pro. They did it on their own, and when he went to Eddie Hearn, they hated that even more. So these guys are crazy. I don't understand the disrespect what Devin Haney gets. I really, really don't.
Yeah, man. Look, they're okay, man. Look, they gave Kambosos a gift the other week. So while they're waiting for Devin, they can serve Kambosos up to either Shakur or Lomachenko. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Loma and Shakur can fight each other, but nobody's screaming for those fights.
What about Tank and Shakur? Like, this is what I'm saying, man. This is what makes me angry with these boxers and these fans. Okay, there's a checklist. Man, you should have at least 3 fighters in mind that you want to fight, man. And at least 2 of them, you're probably most likely, if you're a top name, you're going to be the A side. Like, I just don't understand this situation, man, in boxing sometimes. If I'm Shakur Stevenson and I want it that bad, I want Devin Haney, okay, you had an opportunity, you turned down the fight. You're not the A side in that. This is the undisputed champion. Put some respect on his name. Okay, Tank, we understand that he's a pay-per-view draw. It is what it is. He's popular. We can't do anything about who people like. So that's a fight. And then Kambosos and Lomachenko. What is Shakur? What he got going on, man? And I just hate it. I just hate it because Devin Haney is not the only option. There's multiple options within that division. Even Pitbull Cruz. I mean, Cruz just won.
They're good fights. They're all good fights.
Let me talk. Let me explain. So it's the same thing with Bud, man. It's the whole cross the street thing. You talk about fighting Cruz, fighting Tank. Those guys are not going to fight Shakur because he's top ranked. But Devin Haney contract just ended. He has a good relationship with Bob. So only people realistically that he could fight is Kambosos, Loma, and Devin. And of course, he's already said what he feel about Kambosos. He already told you what he said about Loma. So that's why he's going after Devin. So,
but the crazy thing is he got in the ring and he said he thought Loma won that fight. If he thought Loma won that fight, go fight Loma. You want to fight the winner, right?
Yep.
He jumped in the ring. He jumped in the ring and said Loma won that fight. Go fight Loma. Why are you not?
Hold on. What did he say about those 2? Yeah, I missed Cam. What did he say?
He said that he feel like, because like what you just said, yeah, he might have thought Loma won, but realistically Loma lost. So he don't see the value in fighting those leftover guys. So he wants to fight Devin, which makes sense to me.
He has no value. He has no value at 135. Loma has more value.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Accept the offer then, innit?
That's ridiculous. He just said, hold on. You telling me this idiot said he don't see the value in somebody and he's the junior guy in the division? See, this is this is the craziest shit I ever heard in my life. He don't see value. And
I like Shakur as a fighter, but I don't as the way he's coming across right now is diva. Like, you haven't done anything at this weight class. I understand you did what you did at 130, but it doesn't translate to 135. Not when it's a division with guys who's got names. It doesn't translate.
He's not the senior guy in the division. I hate when guys do that, man. Like, there's a level of respect of seniority. Like, I'm big on that. Like,
I'm gonna tell you why he feel that way. One, he's from Jersey. I'm from Jersey. I understand why he feel that way. The other thing he feels that way is
I'm from Atlanta. Listen, I'm from Atlanta. We don't care. So,
but I get you.
Let everyone speak one by one. Yeah, Zone's from Atlanta. Did you just hear your Atlanta friend, mate? Your Atlanta compadre was failing in life, coming on the fucking. Did you hear it, Zone? The phone call.
Who? What happened? Let me talk to me. I missed some things.
Some Errol Sexual phoned in from ATL, yeah, and he was like, okay, so he said that Spence wasn't the same. So he said basically the car crash, right? And that the fact that how he looked fighting Ugas, and that he feels that he has neurological damage. And I said, okay, so you knowing all of this, you thinking that you knew all this, who did you pick to win the fight? And he went, I picked Spence. So I was like, so you're in his camp, you're in his team, so you know that he's got neurological damage all of a sudden. He's saying, yeah, there was just something that wasn't right about him. He shouldn't have been in there because, he's got all of this neurological damage. So I said, so why did you pick him to win? Because he's my fighter, he's my guy, he's my fighter. I'm a boxer for 12 years.
A lot of people say that though. A lot of people are emotionally attached to their pick. You heard it all through YouTube. I don't know why these guys are doing that, but I get it. It's okay. But go ahead.
I wouldn't even have minded if only if he either came in and said, you know what, I was rooting for Spence to win. I didn't think he may not win because of, the car crash and the things. I've seen him not look that good anymore. But you still picked him. And then he said the layoff as well. So you picked 4 points, that your fighter had these 4 points, and you've seen with these 4 points your fighter's still gone in the ring twice after the crash and with Ugas, and you still picked him to win. He said it should have been a point stoppage if Bud was going to win. Bud knew that Errol was weak, and this was all Bud's fault basically, but they knew what they was doing, and it was basically a cash out for Bud and Spence.
Bud knew that, but it was Spence who made the fight happen.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Look, here it is. It came to fruition on Saturday. We saw what happened, and it's over. Let's say, to answer the question that you had posed on the chat, right? If he fights Errol Spence again at 154, he's going to destroy the guy in 5 rounds. And I think we don't see Errol Spence Jr. for a while after that.
Yeah, he said he was weight drained as well. That was one of the other things that he said, because he was weight drained and he shouldn't have taken the fight.
We're definitely not gonna. We reject that. We all know that's not gonna work, because remember, before the fight, he was big and strong. He was saying stuff like,
"Yeah."
Because he told verbatim. He said, "You're too light in the ass." Yeah. That's what he told Bud. See, he said it with so much confidence, and he said it on a consistent basis all the way up to the fight. So we know that's not going to be an excuse. You were saying that you're stronger, bigger. He's small, so we know you was good. So that's not an excuse.
I promise you're not going to stop me. I promise you're not going to stop me.
That's what he said. Yeah,
that's what he said. He smacked his teeth and was kind of like, man, you got me. Like, how we doing the South. Man, you got me fucked up. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, ladies. There you go. Yeah, that's it. So we know he lying. He just got beat up real bad, and
the guy said, Spence didn't get dog walked. He didn't get it wasn't. He said, it wasn't a dog fight. I said it was a dog fight. I said he got dog walked. He said no, he didn't. I'm sorry.
They're in denial.
I like it though when they're in denial. I enjoy it. I actually like when they're in denial. It makes my day even better, because I just think it's an illness.
They only see what they want to see. So
it's called delusions of grandeur.
Yeah, it's just really us on here. All those Terence Crawford guys and girls who was talking that big talk. I've been around the last 2 days, man, and it feels like somebody died.
I'm still mad at Derek James. I'm mad at Derek James because I had Crawford to stop him in the 7th.
I had the 10th.
I had the 7th, but Derek James let him go back out there. I was so.
I had the towel as well. I had 10th round TKO or towel. And boy,
your stoppage, whatever it's going to wave off towel, TKO, KO, and I've said a couple times on the canvas.
Well, I don't understand. You know what? Like, okay, I've made picks and I've got them wrong. What made them think that Errol Spence was this massive power puncher, though?
No idea. I said this earlier. I said the same thing earlier. I don't understand where they got.
It's him breaking two people orbital bones. That's the only thing I understood.
Stood in front of him to do so.
But
Bud doesn't fight like that.
Kell Brook eye integrity was already
compromised,
right? Like, listen, we know this, so I don't get this eye socket thing that they had. That was ridiculous.
Well, it's crazy because Bud was knocking people out for 10 fights straight, and they never gave him any credit for having power. They never gave him credit.
No, he stopped Sean. No, he was never the same again after the Spence fight. So.
Oh yeah, Sean was on retirement.
Let me tell you guys what Kenny told me. So I went to a party Friday night. It was another podcast on YouTube. They were hosting a party. I met Alicia. I met Mario. Yeah. I met Sean. I met Kenny. I met a lot of people. And the guy asked Kenny, like, "Hey man, what happened? Why'd you throw the towel in?" And he was like, "I'm gonna tell you." He said through that training camp, he said that the Sean he's seen that prepared for Spence, he came to camp, everything seems good, but he said that Sean wasn't finishing the stuff in the camp. He said that through that whole camp, Sean was only doing about 6 or 7 rounds of sparring, and he's telling his son, "What are you doing? Do you remember who we're fighting?" He said the week before the fight, he said 2 weeks before the fight, he said he finally talked to Sean and told him, "Look," he said, "I want you to go home, get your son, take him to the most dangerous hood in Las Vegas and leave him there." He said, "That is how I feel that you're doing to me by not properly preparing for this guy." He said, "I don't know what's going on with you, but this is a serious thing." And he said that Sean just kept telling him, "Nah, he got it. So he said when it came time to get in the ring, he said Sean went out there, performed. He said he had nothing. He said he didn't feel any type of way about Sean's performance. He said, but after the second knockdown, when he seen that Sean was just so frustrated, he knew that his mind was no longer on the fight. So he said he threw the towel in."
I'm going to show you what Sean Porter came out with yesterday.
Oh yeah, I seen that yesterday. He blamed his dad.
Yeah. So it all went back to his dad. I'll play it to you. You guys chop it up while I just pull it up. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah,
the thing with what you're going to play there, Chan, yeah, right? Like Sean knew, not that he knew, but he believed that Crawford was going to win, and a lot of the pundits, like the well-known celebrities, they all knew Crawford was going to win. But they had to play it a certain way, like they were neutral, so they could keep the super fight suspense that it's a 50-50 fight. They had to do that. And that's not a new thing, right? Like when Ali fought Larry Holmes, right? Ali was taking thyroid pills and he looked like he had his old physique back, but he was weak and old, right? But everyone was saying, "Oh yeah," and it affected the betting odds and stuff. And when the fight came, he looked terrible. He looked absolutely terrible, you know. So it's a mirage. It's a mirage. Like most people knew what was going to happen. Not that we got a crystal ball, but most people knew what was going to happen.
Well, that was
Sean, after Sean fought Crawford, he came out and said that he believes Crawford's the best fighter, pound for pound, and he believed that Bud would beat Spence. And then, as the fight got closer, he started tapering his decision. Not he didn't actually say would win. He'd do a whole breakdown and then miss out the bit of who we thought he would win, because he didn't want to be any backlash on choosing anybody. Sean makes out that he.
Let's just watch what Sean said. I did a report on it, so let's just watch it because it's got the meat and potatoes here. Let's just watch. Hey guys. Well. So Sean Porter comes out on record speaking about, yet again, his experience with Terence Bud Crawford versus his experience against Errol the True Spence Jr. And there was always a narrative that, you know, because he was 1 foot out the door, it diminished Crawford's win. And we already know that he's admitted that he was out the door with Errol Spence fight. But he literally clarifies that basically Terence Crawford got a way better version of Sean Porter than Errol Spence Jr. I'll let you have a little listen. Stand by.
We visited that in the watch back, of course, but we gonna visit that, and I'm gonna go another way that I didn't go. And I'm gonna start this off by saying I love my father and I respect my father. And y'all know that.
Yeah.
But my dad did not pull any punches on fight night in that post fight interview that he gave in the ring. And I respect my father, so I kept my mouth shut. And I love my father, and I would never make my father look bad, so I never said anything. But when you look back at how this fight transpired with Errol, and then you look back at how my fight transpired with Terence, a lot of people are going to argue that I'm even better than Errol was when I fought Terence. And the reason why I'm going to go here now, and I'm doing it somberly because I'm not happy about having to do this the way that it's going to be done, but it is what it is. There wasn't a lack of preparation when I fought Terence. There was not a lack of commitment when I fought Terence. There wasn't a lack of confidence or anything when I fought Terence. And I've mentioned more than enough times, you already know that there's a documentary coming out on my career, my life, and you guys will see a lot of what I'm about to say right now and understand even more. But the things that took place in camp prior to my fight with Terence were things that had taken place before in camp, but I've always been respectful to my dad. I've always kept my mouth shut. This was the first time that I said, I'm not about to do this. I'm not about to keep dogging it. And I'm 34 years old and I'm still 33 years old and I'm still dogging it like this because you are so amped up and in a space that if we don't go here, we're not going to beat this guy. And so it became a thing of just, I'm not going to make any excuses. I wasn't drained on fight night by any means. But going into the ring on fight night, Terence had a confident corner. Terence had a corner that was ready to produce for him. I did not have a confident corner. And I did not have a complete corner that was ready to produce for me. Obviously, we know who I'm talking about when I say that. So what you see on TV is something that never happens on TV. An amazing moment. And they caught it. You down. What? You down. They saying you down. I'm down. Yeah, you down. Yes, he turned it up. But we watched the fight back.
Yeah.
Everything that he was doing to knock me down and that fight get stopped, he turned that up maybe 6 or 7 rounds. He started trying to pressure me. He started trying to get right in my face and not let me move and let's make this fight happen. What you don't see is what's happening in the other corner. And my dad has never been a cheerleader. My dad has never said, oh, you're getting them. Oh, you're doing this, you're doing that. It's never been my dad. Never expected that from my dad. But what I didn't get from my dad, and what you guys need to understand is, yes, boxing is a one-on-one sport, but it's also a team sport because when you go back to the corner, they give you information, they give you energy, they give you drive, they give you everything you need
Tell you what
to
you
go
don't
out
see
and produce. This is what y'all don't know. Everything that y'all seen me do against Terence Crawford on fight night was my game plan. All respect to my dad, but it was what I wanted to do because it was what I thought I needed to do to beat Terence. And whether you could argue that I was winning that fight and you could argue that I was losing that fight, but it was damn sure better than what Errol was doing, what Errol was able to do. And I'll tell you why. You got to outthink that man. You can't allow that man to dictate the pace. You can't allow that man to dictate the space. You can't allow that man to dictate the range and the distance. And upwards to 6 to 7 rounds, I was very comfortable and confident with what I was doing. But when I started to waver mentally with, I don't know if this is working, I don't know if I'm winning, I feel good, I didn't go back to a corner who was giving me good information that was going to push me forward. I was coming back to the corner. You need to pressure him. You need to get on him. You need to get to the body. You need to do this. You need to, once you get him, you got to keep going. The combination turn. That ain't how you beat this man.
Yeah.
You don't beat this man by rushing. Look at what Errol Spence did. Rushed in and got it.
Yeah.
Hard. I knew what I was doing, and I was outsmarting. And if not outsmarting, because I know you didn't have me winning that fight. If I wasn't outsmarting, I was competing.
Yeah, it was damn close.
Competitive.
But what you don't see, you see in one corner, you see, oh, you down. Oh, I got to turn it up some more. Yeah, you know you do. But what you don't see in the other corner was there was no energy being given to me to push me forward. So when I go out in the center of the ring, I'm relying on my thoughts. I'm relying on my emotions. And then I have a moment. Put me down. I ain't never been here before. All right, I get up and now I'm a little shook up about the moment. And I'm in my own thoughts, and boom, comes the bigger moment. And you see frustration because why am I in my head? Why am I here? And then I get up and my dad stops the fight. No, it was not justifiable for my dad to stop the fight. No, I don't know what would have happened if that fight had continued. The narrative is that I wasn't committed, that I was already out the door and all those things. Oh yeah, I was. But guess what? I was already out the door when I fought Errol.
Yeah.
I was out the door when I fought Errol. I was hyped up, and this is the last one. Did I not have an amazing intro when I fought Crawford? I was on my way out, and there's a couple more things I need to do before I get up out of here. But I did not receive what I needed in between rounds to help me through that fight, and that's why that fight, my fight with Terence.
So there we have it. We hear Sean Porter talking about it was his game plan. He was out the door for Errol Spence fight. And Errol Spence still couldn't get him out of there and went the distance and only won by a split decision. But, you know, the narrative, and I'm glad that Sean Porter, he always keeps it a buck and he's always so honest. He debunked that whole thing that the Errol fanatic fan base was going around stating that Bud just got a washed Sean Porter. Now, granted, he said he was going to retire, but with Errol, he was out the door. And with Bud, the reason why he clashed with his dad, he knew what he needed to do himself to beat, or at least aim to beat, Terence Bud Crawford. He was fully confident, as you heard him say. It changed, obviously, in the fight, but he was fully confident. He just didn't want to do the things that his dad wanted him to do because he felt that that's where he and his dad differed on this fight, because he knew what he was dealing with. With Errol, it was an easier fight. With, as we can all see, with Terence Bud Crawford, it was a competitive fight until it wasn't. Then obviously admits that his dad and his corner failed him in the Crawford fight. Failed him in a way that there wasn't any upliftment, no pep talk, no spurring on. And that's what also failed him. He said Terence had a great corner because they captured it on, like we heard. You know, you're down, turn it up. He said felt him turning it up from round 6. The fight was over round 10. And his corner wasn't giving him that type of positive feedback when he was being successful in that fight. So it's nice to hear it just a year later, him absolutely telling the 150% truth. He wasn't trying to throw his dad under the bus, even though his dad threw him under the bus. I think now his dad probably will hear this and think, wow, I didn't understand that's what you needed to do, son. Not listen to me in its entirety, but listen to yourself. And I always say that boxers need to also listen to self. They're in the ring. Yes, they're there to execute a game plan of what they've been taught in the gym. But it's if you're a good and an elite fighter, such as even Sean Porter, you know what you need to do to adjust when something isn't going according to plan. Porter, which is quite weird because when I had you know, some correspondence with him via the report I showed you, he was quite irked that I'd stated that Bud is just a better fighter than a lot of them, but specifically than Errol Spence Jr. So yeah, so it's quite strange that that irked him. And yeah, so the narrative was left the builders in. Bye-bye narrative. I know that's now put to bed where everybody was like, Bud got the worst Sean Porter. Well, as you can hear, he didn't. He absolutely got a better Sean Porter than Errol, the truth Spence. The truth was in the building. It was an honest building. It just makes me, I just wonder why Sean Porter felt it important to come out with this and kind of reverse what he had stated last year after his defeat to Terence Bud Crawford. What was the catalyst to it? Was it that he respects Bud enough to, which I'd hope, debunk the narrative? He saw that Bud was such a great fighter, which he always knew, but was very hesitant to, didn't want to pick who would win out of Bud and Spence. Or was it a thing where it's now like kind of ride the coattails of the Terence Bud glory and be like you said, I did better than Spence. There's all different angles that this could be looked at, and why this was approached, we will never know unless, you know, unless Porter, excuse me, comes out and further clarifies that, which I don't know. He's a truthful guy, but you know, there's only so much truth that some people feel that they are allowed or would like to deliver. That I just wanted to put that from me to you, from you to me, yeah, to you guys. So that further more seals and cements and locks that narrative, stupid agenda to diminish Terence Crawford, his victories, his accolades, his accomplishments. So in a way, I need to shout out Sean Porter for that one. Sean Porter admits his corner failed him. He doesn't know what he would have done. And I was always an advocate like, well, his dad should have allowed him somewhat to go out on his shield. And it's funny because Kenny Porter, which always befuddled me, was going for Spence to defeat Crawford when he knew what Crawford did to his son, and he potentially stopped Porter, his son, looking like Errol. Errol Spence, you can look at it. Derek James failed him as a coach because he should have pulled him out of that fight at least 3 rounds before. Yeah. And he chose not to, but then he allowed him to go out on his shield, Spence. So you can look at it all different dynamics and different ways. There's different variables, but it was just interesting to hear this. So I brought it to you, as I do. Bars. Anyway, I'm gone. Hey girl, it's LadyChann rep nonetheless. Come box with Chan. Gyan. The honesty was in the building. The lies left the builders in. The truth entered the builders in. But the truth also left the builders in. Can! Yeah. What do you think? What do you think?
Oh, hey. What's up?
Hey.
Yeah, I found it strange. I found it strange that Kenny Porter was going for Spence. When I'd seen his video betting whoever he was betting 10 G's, I found it strange he was going for Spence. I thought because especially how he spoke about Bud and how good Bud was after the Sean fight, and even through the build up, how he spoke so glowingly about Crawford and how he's grown up with Crawford and seen what he can do and stuff like that. So when he was betting against him, I felt that was a bit strange.
Me too.
It might have something to do with him and Sean possibly falling out or whatever.
Or that he's still tied to PBC.
Yeah, it was a strange one.
I'm thinking I'm thinking the PBC angle. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think it's that.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be something.
But my point is, which was the point that I was trying to make, was that, listen, yeah, if it wasn't successful, he was going to leave. But there was no point in time that he went into that fight half-hearted, washed. He just said that what his dad was asking him to do, he felt that there was another angle, what he needed to, because if he was so half-hearted, he would have just went with his dad's way. He wanted to win that fight by hook or crook, mate. He wanted to win that fight, and he felt that he needed to do what he needed. It's just that his dad didn't realize. His dad just thought, oh, he's not interested. He's not putting all. No, he just didn't want to do what the dad wanted him to do. He felt there was another element that he had to do.
Sean messed up. If he
Yeah.
wanted to fight Terence Crawford a certain way and his dad wasn't on board,
Should have changed trainers.
He said, Dad, I'm going to get another trainer who's going to help me, devise this strategy to defeat Crawford. That's what he should have did. You know what I mean?
But I mean, you have to also look at it that he's never had another trainer. But do you need another trainer to be able to tap into self? That's my whole point. When you're an elite fighter, you kind of know, all right, I can take the things what my dad is telling me, but then I also can add to this because I feel that this needs to be added. And that doesn't have to come from another trainer. That has to.
He was saying he wasn't getting the input from the corner.
He wanted to know whether he was doing well or not, and he wasn't getting it.
Yeah, and he felt that because Terence corner was very clear, you're down or you're this and that. He didn't know when he was being successful with his dad, and if his dad would have just said, "Do you know what? This is a good round for you," it would have solidified to him that the game plan that he had, that he was executing in his mind, was working. So maybe we would have saw something different. Maybe we wouldn't have. Crawford would have still stopped him. Maybe not. It might have gone the distance. Maybe not. But the whole narrative just needs to be put to bed that he got a washed Sean Porter. He actually got, Errol Spence actually got a more washed Sean. As you heard him emphasize, I was out.
My foot was out the door.
I was out the door.
There's only certain people that run with that narrative. I never ran with that narrative.
Yeah.
I thought Sean fought quite well against Crawford. Crawford just did what he normally does, and he turns it up. We know he's a slow starter. All that happened is Sean had a very good start, a quick start, and then Bud adjusted. And when he got told that people was trying to say he was down, he was like, "Well, I'm just going to step it up to that fourth gear now."
Then he finished the fight.
And he got him out. And he got him out of there. It was as simple as that. I don't think Sean's game plan was horrible. I just think Crawford's a better fighter than Sean, and he was always going to do that.
If his dad would have said, "Well done, son. Those were good rounds," it would have spurred him on to continue to try and fight at that level. He just was like, he felt.
John felt alone in that ring, by the sounds of it. He just felt alone.
So your corner's supposed to tell you when it's a good round or a bad round. If your corner, you're having a good round, and your corner doesn't even say good round, then you're now thinking, you're second guessing yourself, thinking, oh, my game plan, I don't know if it's working. But he said his dad's never been a cheerleader, and that's the wrong type of corner that you have. You should have a corner that tells you when you're doing good, and a corner when you're doing bad. So it's back on his dad. His dad just didn't get the memo. His dad didn't realize that Sean was doing his best, was training hard in camp. He shouldn't have thrown him under the bus. He should have had this conversation. Basically, Sean should have had that conversation, what he's had with us, with his dad.
Yeah, they both really should have had this conversation, because if you're going into training camp and you're doing what you believe is right, but your dad's telling you you're not doing enough, and you're not communicating to him, this is how I want to do things, then you're going to go into a fight alone. So it is on Sean. It is also on Sean, because you're a grown man. You need to voice your opinion. You can't keep acting like a kid just because it's your dad training you and you respect him. You can't be acting like a 12-year-old boy. Oh, my dad says do that, but I'm only going to do this. But I'm not going to tell him. I'm just going to do this. Like, tell him you're a grown man. This isn't how I'm going to beat Terence Crawford. I believe I beat Terence Crawford this way. If you're not on my side, I'm going to have to get someone else. But this is how I'm going to do it. And clearly he didn't. Like he said, he respects his dad and he didn't want to disrespect him. And especially after the fight, when your dad's standing around saying, you didn't train hard enough, you didn't do this, when in your heart you knew you did, you stood there and you allowed him to punk you like he was a kid.
Yeah,
Like, come on,
to belittle you. I mean, it's like, bruh.
Yeah.
Only to come out a year later, then then debunk your dad. Like, it's either, it could be looked at as super honest, or it could be looked at as a bit clout chasery. Like, because now you want to adjust the story.
Yeah, because now you want to show that your performance on your own without a corner was better than Earl's performance.
Yeah,
that's what it seems like to me.
Yeah. So that's why I just presented those like I said, there's different variables. But nonetheless, if we're going with what Sean Porter said, and we can only go with what he said, listen, Bud didn't fight a washed Porter. He didn't
He
fight
didn't look like he fought a Wash Porter either. I don't believe he looked
I
like
didn't
a
say that. I
Wash
thought the
Porter.
fight was very competitive till it was out.
Yeah, I did. I generally
Tell you
did.
what,
So
I'm gonna get out of it because you see what the guy was saying about neurological damage. BDA boxing. It looks like he spoke to a doctor who's saying that Spence Jr. suffers from residual neurological damage. Although I'm gonna listen to the video and hear what they got.
was that after the fight?
Yeah, after the fight.
Oh shit!
Who said that, Pete?
Oh shit!
BDA boxing.
See, these did a report saying that Spence has come out saying he's got neurological damage.
No, Spence isn't saying it. So they're talking to a doctor, although I don't know how the doctor would know.
What, on their live show?
No, it's BDA boxing.
No, I don't.
No.
Yeah, it's on that channel, BDA.
Are they American, UK?
Yeah.
Where's BDA
Hispanic.
based? Is it Hispanic?
Yeah.
I thought it was Hispanic.
So they're saying that. So they're speaking to a doctor, and the doctor's saying that Spence has had neurological damage.
That's what he's claiming.
It's all coming out now, though, Uncle Beats. Though, like, it's all coming out now, isn't it? Oh, Errol.
Rico.
Can I just big up my brother AJ, man? Thank you so much. It's obviously due to AJ that I'm here, but I just want to say thank you so much, LadyChann, for allowing me to come through. It's an honor as always.
Okay.
Big up my Uncle Beats, hero, like, honestly, for mine. Thank you
good.
everybody in the panel. Has everybody said what they needed to say?
Yeah, you go ahead. You can. Beats, have you finished saying what you say?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Go ahead, Rico.
So.
And keep it on topic, because you like to deviate.
I know, I do. I promise.
It's the ADHD in the
building.
I
know. I'm trying to get that corrected. But what a fight! What a night! What can I say? I don't want to boast, because I'm not that. I'm not really a boaster like that. However, there were a lot of Errol Spence fans that were in my DMs and my mentions and things. Shout out to Ray Jackson, by the way, healing energy. And
Big
I hope
Ray
you're watching.
Jackson.
You know what,
Full
Uncle
back,
Beats?
Ray. Full back, Ray.
No, you know what, Uncle Beats? Uncle Beats? I was listening to the Beats Boxing Rhymes Weekly. Please go check it out by one of the realest OGs in the game. Boxing Beats and Rhymes. It's very rarely that after 5 years of abuse, of people telling us that we don't know the sport that we love, of people telling us that Errol is the big shark, Terence And they coined the phrase "other side of the street." They disrespected this man for so many years. And I did say, and AJ, you are a banner and boxing veteran, panelist,
Mm-hmm.
family of mine.
Mm-hmm.
What did I say? I said that it was going to be a one-sided beating, and they were going to get his ass out of there in the 9th round. And I died on that hill for like 5 years. So you'll have to forgive me if the smile just won't come off of my face. And also,
It shouldn't.
when we have people like a Ray Jackson actually atting Terence Crawford's sister, saying, once your brother gets punched up, I'm going to take you on a date. I'm going to ride you to the restaurant on my forklift.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I actually tried to get Ray on my space just earlier, but I digress. Sorry, Lady Shan. All I wanted to say was that to all the Errol Spence cult fanatics, you weirdos, you absolutely strange people, weird behavior. You probably have families, children, workplaces that you go to just today. And like a Ray Jackson, you're probably trying to get sympathy, like, oh, I haven't, this has been the worst week of my life. I can't believe, I can't believe that this has all happened to me. And I believe one tweet during the fight, and I retweeted this as well because I had his notifications on during the fight. Dog, get up, big fish. Sorry, my Ray Jackson accent isn't that great. However, I think I'll try. Get up, big dog, big shark. You know you got this. Oh, I mean, he never said the sounds, but I'm paraphrasing. But what a great, incredible week for boxing. And like the good brother Julius would say, the fans have won. More, just to kind of big up AJ, just to kind of I don't know, the fans win. We've won because we've stuck to our guns like normal people would. Somebody actually told me that I don't support black fighters because I'm choosing Errol over Terence Crawford. And on my platform, people always tell me off about this, but I always have to let people speak because you know what it is? At the end of the day, I have a segment in my show called A Teachable Moment. And I actually learned this from you, Uncle Beats, is because sometimes people have to let out stupidness and then you can refill that data, right, with actual facts and factuality. Now, to all the Errol Spence fans out there, man, sorry. I don't mean to smile while I say this, but 5 years is a long time, and it's a long time for people to tell people like yourself, Uncle Beats, and you, AJ, and you, lovely Lady Shan, and you, the rest of the panelists, that we don't know a sport that we love. I told them a real elite. Terence is a generational great. He is absolutely special. His southpaw is what I akin to an Indiana Jones whip when that hand is just so low. He literally, like, I don't know, like, that song, that one with a two-step, two steps, he literally done a two-step. When he knocked him down in that second round, he was over him and he just and then down. Now, when I got to the fourth, I believe that Derek should have pulled him out. Any, and obviously the arguments happen of whether, the fighter knows the trainer knows the fighter, and everything like this. However, I do understand where you were coming from, but you should have pulled that man out. You've reduced years off of his career, right? And I just want to say thank you to Errol Spence for such an incredible showing. Thank you for taking it on the chin. Thank you for not giving excuses like so many of your other stablemates have done when they have had failures or losses in their life. And thank you so much for a great fight. I believe that at 154 pounds or even 160, Terence has his number. So I just obviously, I don't know if we've gone to that part of the conversation, but I'd love to speak about their next moves. But yeah, I hope you are enjoying this as much as I am. And thank you, Lady Shan.
No worries. What up, Scrapbook? Yeah, you can't listen to this guy. I know, not you, Rico, the caller. I know the caller, the idiot was in the Shouts out to my guy, Scrapbook Boxing, another dope boxing historian. Yeah, I told him. I hope I made you proud. Yes, yeah, because Scrapbook's amazing as well. Like, so it's an honor and a privilege when he comes through. Like Beats and Blood, they come through and support little old me, you know. So I appreciate it tenfold. But
You're amazing, Lady Chan.
yeah. So yeah, that's what. Oh yeah. Also, I've got a super chat. Let me just do the super chat, and then you lot can do your final words, and then Beats can give us some more content that we're gagging for, because you know everybody's waiting for Beats' next one. like hurry up, Beats, hurry up. Yeah, when I don't see it
Please,
land,
Uncle Beats, make it a long one as well.
Refreshing. I'm like, where is it? Like, where is he? Yeah.
That's my morning routine. That's my morning routine in my van. Every morning.
Pack. I mean,
Then when you listen to
shot
Beats
pack
at work,
is
the nights fly by at work when you listen to Beats, though. They really
Yeah.
do.
Sometimes I let them gather up so I can watch them back to back for a bit. So it's like longer. Yeah, let it gather up. But sometimes as soon as I see it land, I'm just like, fuck it, I can't even let it gather up. I got to just check it out straight away. Let me do the super chat. Shouts out to Dr. P, my Cardiff brother, for dropping that £2 on your girl. Bud was 86, 85, 87, 84, and 86, 85 in the Porter fight. So yeah, he was up on all the
He was up. It was just the commentary. It was just the
some
commentary.
guy was saying they had Sean up after 9 rounds. So
Sean was doing okay in the fight. He was doing okay.
Yeah, it was competitive. That's what we're saying. It was short. It was definitely a
I'll
competitive
tell you
fight.
what, right. Sean and Tim Bradley are a victim of the success that you've had in America, the welterweights. If they came from any other country, they'd be talking about them like they were some gods. You know what I mean? Because they're good fighters. They're both very good fighters.
Yeah.
Very good fighters.
Yeah.
But I think there's some people they don't like the styles because maybe a bit scrappy, they're not clean punches, but they're good fighters, man.
He's a good fighter. But yeah, shouts out to Sean Porter. He took everything.
Then Chan, I've got to bounce because I've got work.
Thank you, ERF, for dropping by. Make sure you come get
later.
Pleasure. Peace.
ERF boxing is you have to be decent. Okay, so I'll give everybody their time to. We'll start with Beats, Zone, AJ, and Rico. So Beats, kick it off.
Yeah, man.
Final words that you want to say?
Yeah, Zone, keep your foot on their neck. I'm listening to you today. You know what I mean, Rico, big yourself up. You know what I mean, I know you do. I know you're putting in some media work. Keep doing what you're doing. AJ,
thank you so much, Uncle Beats, man. I really like.
Salute, Beats.
Man, I'm sorry, guys. Like, I fucking love Uncle. Sorry, Lady Chan, if I'm sworn. Like, I love Uncle Beats, man. Uncle Beats. I've been listening to Uncle Beats for like 10 years plus. So you lot don't even understand what this is like for me. So the lovely Lady Chan, I've been like, back in the days, we were even listening to your tunes in the dance and stuff like that. I'm not going to go too much into too much detail. So I just want to say thank you guys so much. Like, it's especially Uncle Beats, like you. Thank you so much. Like, for real. That's all I got to say.
Shouts out, Rico. Shouts out, Beats.
Peace.
We'll catch you on the flip side, Beats, for sure. Cool. Thank you for joining me. Appreciate it.
Salute, Beats.
Salute to Beats.
By the way, Rico, there's only one LadyChann fanboy.
Boxing Beats is have to be.
There's only one LadyChann fanboy, and you're talking to him.
You're talking to.
I know, bro. I know.
Sorry.
I know. Like AJ.
The position
AJ only speaks the most loveliest things about you, Lady Chan, as he should, and like everybody should. And thank you so much for your platform, the way you're building it, just everything. The production is absolutely mwah. I hate the French, but je ne sais quoi. But yeah, for real, I'll stop because ADHD and whatnot.
It's all good. Zone. My guy.
Yes, sir. So
last words, sir.
I always appreciate Lady Chan.
Find you as well.
Yeah, I love Lady Chan. I saw the potential in her when she first started. She was a hungry monster. She was on point, and I was like, man, who is this girl? Man, we gotta fight. Let's get her, guys. Let's tell her to come over here because she's on fire. Y'all gotta hear this girl, man. She is the shit. I swear, everybody know that's what I say.
Yep, and then you brought me through. I say that to everybody. I was with Zone 6, mate, my guy from day one, literally. So I appreciate your support, Zone. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And the same thing with Beats, man. I agree with that. I second that with Beats, man. Beats, I don't know if I know Beats is not a sentimental guy. He's law and order, and we need that. And he is Uncle Beats, and he's not as he may not know that we appreciate him as much as we actually do. Even though we may bite at his heels sometimes and talk some shit to him because we just want to hear what he got to say, we still love Beats. He's one of the OGs in the community.
That's a fact.
And to close out on some boxing, man, I feel like that. Remember, Kenny Porter, I feel like was always scared of Terence Crawford because Terence Crawford tried to fight him as a youngster. When you have an interaction with a kid like that and he has to fight your son, that shit was
so gangster, so gangster, so
exactly.
fucking. Oh, sorry, LadyChann.
Might be a bit bitter. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. We all together. It was branded in his brain, so he had fear of Terence Crawford from day one, regardless of what you guys say. Second of all, this is the second time that Terence Crawford was robbed of knockout of the year. They saved Errol Spence as they saved Sean Porter's. Those two fights supposed to end it with brutal knockouts, knockout of the year. And I'll end with that.
Shouts out, Zone. I'll see you soon on your panel. I got to come through. Yeah. Send me the alert. I'll come through for the next live. Salute to Zone. Zone
Zone 6 has left the Buddhism.
Kind of. Still here. Okay. We got Rico. Yeah. Zone 6 has left the Buddhism.
AJ, my brother, AJ, you go first, bro. You're family to me, bro. You can always go
AJ
first.
was here first, so you go first now. You got to go first.
Right before I go, just basically that I gave the science. I said to people as to why Terence Crawford was going to win, and so one-sidedly, it was just in the stars. I've never seen a man. I've met people, real people. I looked into their eyes, and I've seen killers. People unremorseful, although good people, unremorseful. Time Terence Crawford look into Errol Spence's eyes, I saw darkness. I saw somebody that wanted to take him to a place that he's never ever been before. I said to people that Terence Crawford has about 3 or 4 gears that Errol hasn't even been able to add to his vehicle. That's why I stunned today. And that's why there's a part 2, Banter and Boxing, Errol Spence and Crawford. We discuss this in full depth tomorrow. LadyChann, I really hope that you can come through just to add some grace and some beauty into the whole space.
If you tag me, let me know. Tag me.
I'll DM you the whole link,
Or DM
everything
me.
like this.
Yeah.
I'll promote the show and everything. I would love to have you on. AJ, I'm sure that you would love to have a LadyChann on. So I just want to say
Absolutely, 100%.
Thank you to my brother AJ for telling me about the live. Thank you for letting me speak. And I just want to say God bless you all. I hope you have an incredible start to the week, especially you, gorgeous LadyChann. And
Shout out
I will see
to
you
Rico,
all
man. Shout out to Rico.
Later.
Thank you, Rico. See you
later,
soon.
guys.
Thanks tomorrow. Thank you very much for joining us.
Rico is left the Buddhism.
And last but not least, my lovely AJ all day. AJ, words. We've had a ball as we always do.
Always. I was actually about to say that last, but definitely not least.
Yeah.
But no, great show today, Chan. It was good stuff. You know me, man. I'm always here when you need me. I'm always at the weekly wrap-up show. Consider this a permanent part of my routine now. Can't leave it alone, man. You know me. This is where you'll find me for the most part.
Oh,
I love you.
Love you even more. Mwah. Speak to you on the flip side.
Yep. And tell them, Chan. We try to tell them. We tell
them. They didn't listen.
They didn't want to listen.
They're going to learn today.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. We shall see you on the flip side, and I'll catch you on the flip side.
All right, catch you in the chat.
All right, coolio.
AJ's left the Buddhism.
Guys, It's been amazing. I've got to shout out all the members. Let's do the members only roll call. And we start as follows. I want to thank also Kenny Ken, Chris for joining the panel, Elijah One, Beats, AJ, Rico, Queen, Lisa Bales, Zone 6. Yeah, so we was in the mix. ERF Boxing, we was in the mix. So as followed, Donald Banks, thanks for renewing your membership. Donald Banks in the building. GRG Bear in the building. Big Bad Bull in the building. James Rudd in the building. Retro Boxing, and thanks for coming through, Blood in the building. Team Fatty in the building. Golden in the building. Ahmed in the building. Nesta in the building. Zara K in the building. The Queen Karma Serene Bars in the building. King Boxing in the building. Con Shaunery in the building. Lisa Bales, the Queen in the building. Ricardo, mi hermano in the building. Stephen T in the building. Mark Niggity Nash, what up, Mark, in the building. Dub Right Side in the building. My sister R to the left in the building. D-Star Boxing, mi hermano in the building. Devil Beats in the building. AJ All Day in the building. Charlo in the building. King TJ, R.I.P. in the building. Upload El Primero, ya tú sabes, in the building. Dr. P, my Cardiff compadre in the building. You know what we're here to do? We're here to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Colonel Jessup, did you order the code red? You don't have to answer that question. I'll answer the question. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
I want to thank Daniel and Giovanni for calling in. Knowledge is key. So if you're going, you know.
So if it's one, not what I see nothing because nothing not a one. Lock off your eyes, cock me, make you come.
Them the like we the like them.
Them not like me, some me not like them. Man, I figure set this straight and clarify. Put fire upon a pagan, aim for the cranium. Turn off the news, there's a bag of lies. Roast raise man, wanna inform up, fun Babylon and every one of them dirty guys. And if they wanna go around the order, I guarantee somebody's dropping flight.
And you know, we are here, we are always fucking ready.
Listos pe los chingazos! Listos pe los chingazos!
Shouts out to Errol Spence.
Bro, what's wrong with this nigga, bro?
He said his girlfriend.
Nigga gay, nah. My brother, man. Hey, man. Hey, it's serious. Hey, it's serious. That's my brother. Getting jealous. She said, don't kiss him. My brother. Bro, what's wrong with this nigga?
It's tight, you suck at life, you don't want a round three. Worship the queen and your mic to pass. Keep it real, these chicks couldn't wipe my anyway, now let's go get Bulgari. I am the ultimate Bengali. These chickens can't even spell that. You hoes bugging, repel that.
And if you would like to join the membership, come through to the Shannaholics.
Me bar rat brain splatter, what's the matter? Just start up, don't try, move the body, try, scatter, pick, pattering up all over your body, know your bruise and batter, tap, shatter. You never should do a lot.
That's right, it's the weekly wrap-up. What? Shiggity show. Yeah, anyway, guys, thank you for joining me. It's been a very good show. Yeah, I've had a lot of fun, and now we're done. Bars. So, catch me on the flip side. We will be back on Wednesday with Uncle Coach Ronnie Shields. He'll be in the waters. I'll be speaking. Can't wait for that one. So, from me to you, from you to me, ew dares, Rodders, ew dares. Anyway, I'm gone. How you girl is LadyChann rep none less. Come watch me, Shan. Gyan. Ra. LadyChann. And hopefully I've taken these heterosexuals who's left the fucking building. Gyan. Ra. Thank you for joining me.
LadyChann.
Fight.